Hey guys, this is Anime Ball Z here, and today we are going to be doing the first part to a new series. What if Goku was obsessed with training? Please like the video if you haven't already and subscribe. It's totally free and you can unsubscribe whenever you want. There's nothing much else I'd like to say in the intro, so without further ado, let's get into the video.
Slick talker since a jet. Winter time, all the time, ooh, yeah. Look at the way that I move, swag. Disrespectful and I'm rude, okay. I had cocaine in the school.
In this what if we start off pretty much the same. Goku still hits his head and is raised by Gohan, but things start to change as Gohan introduces Goku to the world of martial arts. As soon as he begins to get him on a training regime and shows him new techniques, Goku is fascinated with these key attacks that Grandpa Gohan can use and even the hand-to-hand combat that he resorts to. Goku starts visualizing these fights in his head of these techniques and him battling enemies using them. Even in the night, he'll sneak out the house and practice hitting bark on trees and learning these moves. The pain and weakness he feels after training isn't something that he fears, it's something that he looks forward to. That's because when he feels that, he knows that progress has been made. He knows that he's gotten stronger, better. Grandpa Gohan continues to train him and he can see that he is making substantial progress. This is due to the subtle discipline that Goku shows from when he trains and from how much he does it. It's weird, but even as he does it, it looks like he has a smile on his face. A smile. This stuff should not be possible for anyone, let alone a kid that has been training for a few short months. However, Goku is showing off fascinating willpower and determination. By the time he is 11, his power level has already reached 100. He's significantly more muscular than the chubby boy we saw in Dragon Ball. Now, he's still a kid, so he doesn't resemble Master Roshi's max buff form or anything, but he looks very athletic and strong. During this time, it's Grandpa Gohan that shows him the Kamehameha wave. It's tough on his body and he can't do it as well as he used to be able to back in his prime, but it still works. Goku's eyes light up upon seeing this. More training for him. Another technique to get down and master. To be honest, Goku is kind of bummed out upon giving it his first attempt. He just does it like it's nothing. Firing it off into the sky, it even reaches for the moon and crashes straight into it, leaving a massive crater in its surface. Did I do it? Goku asks, a little surprised. I think you did, Grandpa Gohan says, more than shocked. Grandpa Gohan struggles to say anything. This is the same technique that Master Roshi took decades to teach him and decades for him, the creator, to master. Goku here has used it and quite well at that in his first ever attempt. It's not even like he was told how to do it either. He just saw Grandpa Gohan do it, then copied it in his first attempt. Gohan looks at his outreached hands, then to his tail. One thing he does know for sure is that he is not human at all. One night, Goku is training hard and has ventured quite far from the house. This is because he wants to train his ki usage without awakening and frightening his grandpa. These are things like ki blasts that Grandpa Gohan has showed him and of course the Kamehameha wave. After knocking down a few trees with single punches and practicing his combinations, he moves on to try and refine his Kamehameha wave. Aiming it straight up at the sky, he pours all his power into it and a thick, strong beam of blue ki zooms up into the sky, scorching and vaporizing any bit of green leaf that could be in the blast's path. He continues firing off these blasts, and after one dies down, he can see the moon in view, something Gohan told him to make sure never to look at when it's full. However, Goku soon feels this weird sensation in his body as he continues to look at it. His consciousness remains for a few short seconds until it's gone. The transformation begins. With a 150 power level by this point, Uzaru's power level is a whopping 1500. Leaping toward Grandpa Gohan as he exits the house, it isn't long before the man is dead. After the next morning comes, Goku is traumatized at the death of his grandpa and master. However, he learns to get by, just as he did in canon, and we soon find ourselves at the start of Dragon Ball. Goku's power level has reached 210 by the start of this series, just due to his constant intense training. The only thing stopping his power from exploding is the speed at which he can recover. He makes sure not to train excessively when he's injured, since Grandpa Gohan made it explicit to him that resting will only help him in the long run. However, the time he spends just sitting around is actually the worst part of training for him. He feels like a weakling as he just sits around, achieving little to nothing at all. It doesn't feel like anything's happening, so in his mind, nothing is happening, but that isn't the case. Bulma soon finds him and tries to shoot him, only to find him catch the bullet before it can hit him. After this, Goku decides to go on the adventure with her to find the Dragon Ball so that he can test his skills. Upon meeting the shapeshifter Oolong, Goku wants to learn how he can transform like that. He can turn into almost anyone and Oolong decides to do so. I mean, he isn't really in a position of power after he is easily defeated by the Saiyan boy anyway. Goku continues to work hard to try and learn the technique, but Oolong isn't really a teacher. He tries his best to teach like the instructors did in the shapeshifting academy that he went to, but it takes Goku quite a while to learn from him. However, he gets it down in the end. After doing this, they get the Dragon Balls, and this time Goku really wants a wish. Now Bulma wanted a boyfriend, but with Yamcha now here, she doesn't want that wish any longer. Goku wishes to become immortal. This shocks the group, but Goku does this for one main reason. He wants to learn everything. Become a master with every move in his arsenal and become a fighter of an unseen caliber. The next arc is where he trains under Master Roshi before the 21st Tenkaichi Budokai. For the first part of their training, the 100-meter sprint that Master Roshi makes Krillin and Goku both do, Krillin still manages to get his very impressive 10.4 second time. However, when it's Goku's turn, he speeds ahead and doesn't even give Master Roshi the time to record his speed. He blows straight past him and blows up dirt from his immense speed, leaving both Roshi and Krillin stunned. Just who is this boy? Here, Goku is exposed to yet another technique, the max power or buff form. Goku can't wait to learn this, and Master Roshi is quite reluctant to give it to him. Goku came here for training and is already stronger than him when he uses that form. If he was to get that, would it even be good for the world? I mean, Master Roshi assumes he's one of the strongest people on the planet, so if Goku gets this form, he might just claim that title himself. With such power in the hands of a boy, Master Roshi just doesn't know. To be honest, Goku seems too stupid and pure to do harm to anyone anyway, so Roshi gives in. How will he even learn it anyway? After introducing to him how the technique is done and how he created it, his doubts about him learning this technique wash away once he sees him use a Kamehameha wave. Not even that, but the Kamehameha wave that he uses is mental. It's of a caliber Roshi could never output. The blast causes massive waves to flow out from the sides of it, and it instantly boils any water it touches. This kid is a real powerhouse. By the end of this training, Goku is bummed out to find that he still can't use the max power form. No matter how hard he tries, he just can't get it down. This isn't to say that he hasn't made progress. He feels like he understands it far better and is much closer than he was when he started. The tournament is soon underway and Goku easily makes his way to the final. Here he meets Jackie Chun all the same that manages to use Master Roshi's special buff form. This doesn't even give Goku a challenge though. His power level is now 300 and he can easily handle even Master Roshi's max power. The man leaps back and then unleashes a full power Kamehameha wave toward Goku. The same boy reacts in kind, firing his own forward. The two beams of ki violently clash and Goku gains the immediate advantage. Planting his feet and really pouring his ki into this blast, he starts pushing it further and further back. It isn't long before Roshi is fully off the ring floor and has been eliminated. Goku has been crowned the world's strongest warrior. Goku continues trying to learn his buff form and after a short while he pulls it off. It makes him significantly stronger and I'll say the form is a 1.75 times power boost. Roshi's power level was 139 in the Dragon Ball Z Saiyan saga and he shouldn't have gotten much stronger or weaker over the time of Dragon Ball to early Dragon Ball Z. Also, his buff form multiplier shouldn't be 2 times, since that would have made him a capable enough warrior to face King Piccolo and Tien during that saga in canon. Therefore, I think 1.75 times is fitting and it could vary from person to person. We don't know much about the form that Master Roshi uses, to be honest. This gives Goku a maximum power level of 525, which is very impressive. By the time of the Red Ribbon Army saga, literally nothing can stop Goku. Even without his buff form, nobody can test his overwhelming strength. With a power level of 300, he's already breaching past Dragon Ball numbers as a whole. The empire of the Red Ribbon Army is toppled to the ground and this leaves the fortune teller Baba saga for Goku to locate the final Dragon Ball, the 4-star ball, for him to then wish for Upa's father to return to life. Completing that wish, Goku can then go back to his own training. The 22nd Tenkaichi Budokai comes around and he finds that the Crane School is another force here to win the whole thing. Yamcha and Krillin are quite intimidated by Tien and Chaozu, who sweep their way through the qualifying round. However, Goku is amazed to see other strong fighters based on totally different fighting styles. It's like a dream come true for him. When he isn't taking part in a fight himself, he watches the fighters to analyse how they fight and their techniques to make sure that he can learn from them as much as humanly possible. It's hard for him to learn the fighting moves from just looking, but when it comes to those energy waves, Goku finds it rather easy. Once it gets to the semi-finals where he's up against Krillin, he manages to use Tien's own tri-beam attack. The three-eyed warrior opens his eyes so wide it looks like they will pop out his skull. Just like that, one of the most prized, most feared techniques of the Crane School has been used by someone after just seeing it. Was he expelled by you a long time ago or something? Tien asks, struggling to even form these words. Not at all, I've never seen this boy in my life, Shen replies, with a face of fury and anger. How can this boy be that adept at using a skill that he's just seen? It must be a unique technique of his, to learn and master techniques just from seeing them. If that's true, that will make him a serious threat for Shen's students. opponents. Anyway, Tien has to put this fears behind him as he is here in the finals to face him. The boy bows, showing respect before the fight. "I hope we have a good match," Goku comments, making Tien's eye twitch. "You'll be wishing you didn't treat me like that after I beat you. We're entering a fight, we're not friends, kid," Tien replies, angered by his kindness. The match begins and Tien leaps forward to begin the battle. Swinging down an arm with immense speed, Yamcha and Krillin can't even see it happen. However, Goku steps past it and swings in a kick to his gut. Now Tien was not expecting an attack of this power. He then turns to see the crowd almost laughing at him, and it's rightfully so. I mean, this random kid has just waltzed in here and somehow is giving him a run for his money. No, he won't stand for it. This humiliation and utter disrespect fuels that fire of anger within, and he fires off toward the young boy. He continues on with a series of punches and kicks that Goku finds easy to contain and evade. He flows like the wind, whipping his body around each incoming strike without much effort. Tien roars and swings in what looks like a deadly kick, and he's renowned in the Crane School for his phenomenal striking power. However, it lands onto Goku's muscular arm and does little damage. Upon hitting his arm, Tien can feel just how tough and toned Goku's muscles are. These aren't just show muscles that bodybuilders have to look strong. These are muscles gained from years of tough, hard training that almost the whole population could only dream of possessing. All of that a young boy has. Goku, after just taking this attack like it was nothing, jumps forward and double drop kicks Tien straight in his chest. This attack leaves him winded and with a sharp, incredibly bothersome sting in that area of his body. Tien is getting angry now. He can feel the eyes on the back of his head, those looks of contempt and disappointment. However, Goku is just too much for him to deal with. Goku decides to finish this off in flair, to try out his max form. Shouting at the top of his lungs, it looks like nothing much is happening at first. That is until his muscles begin to grow at record pace. They just continue to balloon and balloon up as he then enters his max form. Now this gives him his maximum power level of 525, and Tien's is pretty much a third of that. It's safe to say he stands no chance. Even with his burly frame, Goku speeds forward as if he's half the size, and before Tien can even process his movement, a fist has already smashed into his face. Cracking his nose on the first strike, Goku continues with these powerful smash-like punches that Tien can do nothing to deal with. Along with their extreme power comes a swiftness that he can't even perceive. His eyes remain closed as these punches just continue to fire off onto his face and body, and after a few seconds he feels the grass below on his hands and legs. The assault has stopped, and as he opens his eyes he can see that he is now out of bounds. Goku's body begins to steam off as his muscles slim down and the match is over. Goku has claimed the trophy once again and is still the world's strongest warrior. Goku goes on to celebrate with his friends, but he wants to keep this very brief. There are so many moves that he needs to learn and he needs to master the techniques that he had seen from Tien and Chaozu. He saw many techniques, but the techniques from the Crane School were definitely the most fascinating to him. Krillin offers to retrieve his forgotten Dragon Ball and Power Pole, and Goku lets him do so. Just as in canon though, Krillin meets his unlucky fate at the hands of Tambourine. Goku goes over there to see what's happening, and he sees his body just laying there. The pain he feels in his chest is unlike anything he's felt before. The intense emotion is just as it was in canon. Krillin is pretty much his only best friend and now he's gone, and it's pretty much his fault. As he continues to cry over his body, he can see a dark silhouette of some demonic figure stood behind him. Turning around, he looks to see what it could be. A green devilish figure with blood on his hands. It can't be. He looks back to Krillin and it soon all starts to make sense. I didn't expect to see the winner here, the winner straight after a semi-finalist. This day just keeps getting better and better, Tambourine says, lifting his arms and sprouting his wings out. He does this in an attempt to come off as intimidating and large, but Goku doesn't buy any of it. Even if it did look intimidating, his mind is too clouded with rage and grief right now. With tears flowing off his cheeks as he flies forward, he speed blitzes Tambourine and lands a single punch to his chest that breaks a number of his ribs. The punch's sound is akin to an anvil dropping, and Goku fires off with more attacks. As he does so, he just shouts at the top of his lungs, letting these emotions command his fists. His mind has gone haywire and he's just let loose completely. It's to the point where he ends up against the wall and just carries on punching a dead Tambourine on the wall. From Goku's persistent and consistent training, his stamina is significantly better than it was at this time in canon. This means he can continue throwing punch after punch at full power without it tiring him as quickly. It takes a good while to see that the job is done. Once he punches into his face and sees brain matter across his fist. The Tambourine's body slumps to the ground and Goku looks at his gory hands, not only covered in blood but chunks of flesh from the mangled corpse, all because of him. Goku doesn't care at this point though. To him, he's done a good job by taking down this demon. However, it's still a lot for him, a kid at the end of the day, to take in, and so he rushes off as fast as he can. King Piccolo soon figures out that his son hasn't been successful in his job and sends out another. In this time, Goku meets Yajirobe as he just wallows through a forest. He's struggling to take in what has happened to his best friend, and when Yajirobe challenges him to a fight, he really isn't bothered. After so much fighting and stuff that's gone on, he isn't in the mood, but Yajirobe doesn't seem to be taking no for an answer. As he tries to walk past him, Yajirobe unsheathes his sword and just goes straight in for his first attack. Goku almost in reflex leaps right over it and then sees the fat warrior somehow slice a tree in half, causing it to topple to the ground. Hold it, Goku tells himself. After seeing Tien and Chaozu, people that could actually fly, he tries his best to pull off that technique himself. Now, Goku is talented and he gets something done. He lets himself float in the air for a fraction of a second through doing what he assumed he had to do to fly, but ends up falling back down to the floor. It's going to take a lot more than one try, even for Goku, to get that technique down. He rolls and turns, catching the incoming sword in between his palms. He makes sure to keep his fingers well away from the blade and abruptly pulls back his hands before Yajirobe can try and use the sharp edge to cut them. A sword swing comes his way shortly after, but he slips past it and then jumps forward to kick Yajirobe right in the side of his body. This impact is powerful and sends him sliding to the side. He grunts in pain, falling onto his sword that he digs into the ground to stop him tumbling over. His gaze is now down on the ground as his mind tries to battle this agony he feels from his torso. "What do you eat, boy? You hit like a damn truck. You're stronger than you look," Yajirobe says with annoyance, struggling to even get the words out. "Sorry about that, I guess I got a little carried away. I just train a lot," Goku explains. "I can tell," Yajirobe says, before finally summoning the strength to stay up with just his legs. Shortly after, Symbol arrives to try and face the two of them. Now they band forces, and it isn't long before Symbol is gone. Yajirobe just cocks him up and they eat him as if he's game they've hunted. Now King Piccolo shows up straight after this point. He stands over them with his massive physique and manages to scare Yajirobe quite a bit. That other small fry wasn't anything to worry about, but this guy looks like the real deal. Even with his old frail look, his musculature is still there and he has this coldness and evil in his eyes. "So, you're the one that has been foiling my plans time and time again," Piccolo calls out. Goku walks forward while Yajirobe walks back and then behind Goku. He doesn't want to have a part in this, to be honest, but he feels quite safe standing behind this kid. You would have thought. Goku doesn't reply to him and just tightens his fists. There's this cold, thick tension between the two, but King Piccolo isn't a man of many words. Before Goku can say a word, he swings his hand down there to try and hit him. Goku steps back, evading it before flipping back. Finally, he places both hands on his head, then extends them to launch the Tri-Beam. The golden blast fires off toward Piccolo at breakneck speed, forcing him to use all his power to leap out the way. Even when he does this, he can feel the blast scorching the side of his face. How did this kid just launch a blast of that speed and power? He just wipes his face and assumes that the hit was nothing special. However, he looks down to the back of his hand and sees blood all over it. His mind is just so taken aback by this that Goku just takes this chance to land a cheap shot on him. It's a kick to his chest, and with King Piccolo's attention diverted, there's no chance that he can dodge or block it. Goku doesn't care about playing fair right now, especially not against an evil guy like this. He's sure that he's the reason behind those two green guys trying to fight and kill him. King Piccolo gets winded, cursing his old frame under his breath before taking a big step to raise back up. "You dare hit me like that? You've got a death wish, child," Piccolo roars as he fires his signature technique, the Demon Wave. The blast fires across the dark forest and almost hits Goku, but he jumps right over it, flipping forwards. As he comes down, he lands a double axe handle straight to King Piccolo's head, launching him down to the ground. He can feel this pain in his head and dizziness. He continues to try and deny this kid's power in his mind, but just upon looking at him, you can tell the hit has affected him. He's swaying from side to side, and it takes him a good few seconds to get a steady footing again. "What?" is all that King Piccolo utters before a powerful blue Kamehameha is getting launched straight to him. It slams into his body and engulfs him, and the blast then slams into the various trees behind him as well. It leaves a massive trail in the forest that Goku and Yajirobe are in, and a piece of King Piccolo's clothing with his devil kanji displayed on it falls to the ground. Goku just turns to leave with a stone cold face. As he walks up to Yajirobe, he gives him an offer. "You look quite down there, kid. I know a guy that can heal you right up, get you right back up to pace," Yajirobe explains. Goku's flying Nimbus comes down to his level and Goku hops right on it. As Goku does this, Yajirobe's eyes open wide with surprise. How has he just gone and done that? With excitement, Yajirobe tries to hop on as well, but sees himself fall right through the clouds. "You have to be of pure heart to step on this thing. Just hold on to me," Goku explains. "Show me where you're talking about and this thing can take us there." Just like that, Yajirobe and Goku fly off into the skies, with Yajirobe looking down at the ground with a wary face. A bead of sweat trickles down his cheek since he's so high up and can feel that Goku is pretty much the only person keeping him up right now. He arrives at Korin's tower shortly after, where Korin is willing to give him a senzu bean just from sensing how powerful the young boy is. This senzu bean heals his wounds but doesn't give him a Zenkai of any sort. He's had a lot of fighting during this time, yes, but it's not like anyone he's come up against has hurt him gravely. Therefore, he just feels 100% again, but there's no increase to his power level. There's no need for Korin to get the Ultra Divine Water right now, since he doesn't really need to get stronger very quickly. But he gives Korin a question. I was asking if you knew any techniques or anything I can use to train to get stronger, Goku asks, bowing so he can come off as polite as possible. Whenever he meets new people that turn out to be fighters or martial artists, he loves to see what they know so that he can learn from them. Korin says that he doesn't have much to give him, but someone above him can. As they look up, there's a pole above Korin's tower that just carries on going up and up into the clouds. Now this intrigues Goku. Yajirobe has had enough here and Goku takes him away using his Nimbus, but Goku returns with his Nimbus to the lookout. Tambourine never destroyed it, so he doesn't need to climb the tower himself. All he has to do is fly right up there, and he arrives on the lookout to see the dead body of Kami with Mr. Popo weeping over it. This wasn't quite the meeting he was expecting. Sorry, did I come at the wrong time? Goku asks, worried for what's happened. Mr. Popo cries and wipes his eyes before looking up at Goku in silence for a good few seconds. No, it's fine, you must be Goku, Mr. Popo comments. Yes, how do you know my name? Goku asks, scratching the back of his head. Mr. Popo wipes his eyes before looking up at Goku in silence for a good few seconds. Mr. Popo then explains the reason this guy's lying here on the floor. Kami and King Piccolo's lives were linked, and so him taking out the Demon King also killed Kami. Goku isn't sure who Kami is, but he soon learns who he was, a benevolent man that was the protector of Earth. It makes him feel quite bad now that he's killed him, but Mr. Popo can see that he's just a child. He didn't intend to do what he did, and Kami made sure to let Mr. Popo know that before he passed. Well, what's the reason of your arrival? Mr. Popo asks. Below, Mr. Korin told me that there are some strong people that can train me up here, Goku says, placing a fist onto his palm whilst bowing. Mr. Popo can see that the boy is quite polite and eager to train from the smile he now has on his face, therefore he decides to see what he's got. Alright then, if it's training you want, then I can show you what I can do, Mr. Popo states, making a stance. To begin with things, the two begin to spar. Goku sweeps back his leg and Mr. Popo dons his own stance. Goku zooms forward confidently, and after so much success in today's battles, he's been filled with confidence in his own abilities. He aims for a gut kick, but it lands on Mr. Popo's large arms. It sends him sliding back slightly, but Goku can see that he has taken the hit quite well. As he goes in to throw a punch, Mr. Popo doesn't continue in a defensive stance anymore. Goku can see him extend his arms, and in the very next moment, a swift fist is already aiming toward his head. A fist too swift for him to evade. Goku braces for impact and can feel the tough knuckles crash right into his face. This knocks him right over his feet and throws him onto his back, but he performs a simple backflip. Just as he does this, he receives an elbow to his face, then an onslaught of attacks from Mr. Popo. These attacks hurt bad, and he can tell that he is the strongest fighter he's faced up until this day. A normal person would be quite put off by the pain that he's feeling from each attack, but Goku feels no such way. No, his face shows that of excitement as the fight continues. Mr. Popo swings a hug, but Goku dips under it, managing to land a swinging kick to his gut before leaping up and landing a kick to his jaw. The kick lands flush onto his jaw, but that's the last of Goku's domination. It feels like Goku is just as strong and fast as Mr. Popo, but what he finds is that in terms of battle intelligence, he is far outmatched. He just can't get Mr. Popo to bite when he tries to feint. He can't catch him by surprise at all. However, Mr. Popo can do that to him with ease and is able to fight from pretty much all angles. Even if he's jumping over him to perform what looks like a flip, Goku can still get hit. Now, with Mr. Popo's back facing him after one of his aerial attacks, Goku takes this only chance to power forward at top speed to do something. Pulling back his fist, he thrusts it forward as fast as he can, only to see Mr. Popo slip past it. All he feels is air brushing over his knuckles from the black fighter moving with such speed, but Goku can see his left foot already being whipped in his direction. With his impetus sending him forward, it looks like he'll be going straight into the advancing foot. At the last second though, Goku grits his teeth and uses all his strength to throw himself out the way, letting the foot miss him by millimeters. As he does this, a slight smile appears on Mr. Popo's face. Goku doesn't even notice though, as he's just put so much effort into making this move. What Goku didn't prepare for was how far off balance he'd become after throwing himself out the way. In his descent, Mr. Popo capitalizes on this and slams his palm straight into his chest, sending him flying over the lookout. He is sent flying several meters and sees the lookout's edge getting closer and closer until he just flies straight off. He can see the lookout receding from him, but he decides to try something out. Focusing hard, he can feel his body is frozen. Opening his eyes, he can see that he's done it. He can actually fly. Well, he's kind of just hovering. As soon as he tries to think of lifting up, he continues to fall back down. All he has to do is use his Nimbus to get right back to the lookout though. It's been a good fight, but I'm taking the win here, Goku says, with determination. After fighting for so long, he feels like Mr. Popo is equal to him physically. Any attack he threw, he just felt like he could land something of the same caliber, and so he enters his maximum buff form. Blasting forward at full pelt, he literally breaks the lookout before landing a clean punch to Mr. Popo's face. This launches him away and through one of the trees on the lookout and causes him to rebound off one of the buildings located there. Sorry, Goku calls out, as steam emits off his shrinking frame. The long fight had amped him up and made him get carried away. Don't worry boy, you have some serious potential. You might have power, but I can see there's a lot for you to learn. I think you should stay up here with me for a while if you want to learn what I have to offer you. So Goku begins his 3 calendar years of training. However, I stress the word calendar because his training takes quite a unique turn here. Now that Goku is extremely determined to train, he takes on the challenge of acclimatizing to the chamber's harsh environment. Instead of spending 1 month, he goes into the chamber for 1 whole year. As soon as he exits, his power level has already reached 1000. His body is already starting to look different. He does still look quite childish, but is quite a bit taller than he was physically a year back. In this time, he has already learned what Mr. Popo has to offer him. Beyond that, it's just martial arts, but after seeing what people like Tien were capable of, he wants to learn something more interesting. Mr. Popo talks about Kami and how he was a Namekian. He talks about the techniques that he might have known, and this only makes Goku feel sadder for taking his life away. It is a bummer, but there just isn't any way to see those techniques right now. Goku is stood on the lookout a few days after his exit from the chamber and looks up to the sky. The sky is a midnight black illuminated by a crescent moon and pure white specks that are the stars of the galaxy. This can't be the only planet here. Kami came from up there. There's going to be more moves from up there. Oh well, until I can get up there, I need to train down here and master everything, Goku states. Goku goes in and spends another year in the chamber, and Mr. Popo gets a little surprised to see Goku's smile on his face as he exits. Going in for another year, it looks like he's ready to go again. Yeah, this kid is not normal at all. In these 3 calendar years, Goku has gone in and trained in the chamber 7 times over. He would have spent more time in there, but he has family and friends outside that he doesn't want to miss out on seeing. Exiting the chamber, Goku is physically 7 years older than he was at this point in canon. This makes this calendar age 19. However, his physical age is not 26, but instead 25 and is capped at 25. He wished for immortality, and this is the version of immortality that he will get. No matter how much more he trains now, his body will stay physically 25 and he cannot die of old age. Along with that, his power level has increased significantly to a whopping 100,000. The moment he steps out the chamber, Mr. Popo can feel an intense pressure exuding from him. It's almost scary to feel how scary he is. Before the World Tournament is here though, Goku has to do something. He's been thinking about this and wonders if someone on Namek has the powers that Kami had with the Dragon Balls and their wishes. The idea is a little far-fetched and he isn't sure how he'd get to Namek right now, but Krillin's been gone for so long and it's just bothering him a lot now. Surely there's a way to bring him back. Upon exiting, he asks Mr. Popo about this, and much to his surprise, something can be done. Kami came here in a spaceship, and that spaceship is here on Earth somewhere. If he uses that ship, surely he can get himself back to Namek to bring Krillin back to life. This is Goku's mission, and with Mr. Popo's help, they locate Kami's ship. Bulma agrees to go with Goku, and Yamcha tags along too. The trio head straight to Namek, and upon arrival, since there's no Frieza army here just yet, it's pretty calm and peaceful. They get to really relish the scenery and planet of Namek, free from any threats. The lush blue grass and serene green waters that surround them. It's a whole new world, and as Earthlings, they've never been able to experience this before. It's so surreal once they get here. Goku is an alien, but of course he doesn't know that right now. To him, he is an Earthling. Upon arrival, Goku just has to find a local. He begins flying across the planet and he can tell there are a few differences. The world curves down way less than when he's used to when flying, so we can tell that it's much bigger. Also, it looks almost devoid of Namekians. After flying for minutes, vigilantly watching the ground below him, he hasn't found a single inhabitant. Are they in the right place? After a bit more searching, he does end up finding a village. However, upon arriving, it looks devoid of life. He lands gracefully, then walks straight in there to see not a single soul. However, a shaking Namekian rushes out from one of the buildings, with a palm aimed at him. "Who are you? Identify yourself this second," he shouts. From what Goku can tell, this is some form of fighting Namekian. He has a muscular physique and is quite a bit taller than Goku is. The reason for their fear is Goku's monstrous power. As soon as he arrived on the planet, they all knew that he was there. They could sense his strength from a mile away. As soon as he got there, everybody went into hiding. Don't worry, I'm not a threat to any of you. I'm just here to talk, I promise, Goku insists, putting his hands up. No matter how kind he is, the fact that he's so strong makes all the Namekians on edge. Can they really trust someone that's so dangerous? The man doesn't say anything but puts his hand down, signaling for him to continue and explain himself. My friend passed away a few years ago and there was a Namekian on my planet, Kami if you've heard of him, he begins. How do you know about Kami, he asks. Upon hearing this, the man decides to put his hand fully down. Okay, what's your business here, the man says, talking a lot more calmly than he did previously. Goku lifts his eyebrows with surprise at his reply. Maybe this will actually work. The man introduces him to the village that are now much calmer now that they know Goku is here for a good cause. When they examine his heart, the elders can tell that he is pure. Even the others can just tell from his general demeanor that he means no harm. Therefore, the villagers diligently gather the Dragon Balls for Goku to use, and Dende is the Namekian that is used as his personal translator. Yamcha and Bulma are stood with Goku and are fascinated to see the Dragon Purunga appear from these Dragon Balls. He appears to be much larger than the Shenron that they've seen on Earth. The whole surrounding area goes dark and their first wish is for Krillin to be wished back to life. Goku has a smile on his face upon hearing that his wish has been granted, but Purunga goes on to explain that he still has 2 more wishes. A 3-wish dragon. The others are flabbergasted upon hearing this, and Dende is surprised that they didn't know about that. Goku then wishes for Kami to return, which does bring back King Piccolo as well. However, he's sure that the people on the planet now have the power to deal with him. Their final wish is now up for grabs. What should Goku wish for? The idea of him learning every technique comes into his mind, but that sounds so boring to him. Just learning everything on the spot would take away the fun of learning such techniques and actually training. Therefore, he thinks of something slightly different. Give me a healing factor so that when I get really exhausted or damaged, my body heals itself, Goku asks. The others nod with affirmation, thinking that's a pretty good wish and it's granted. Purunga says his goodbyes and the Dragon Balls lift into the sky where they fly off in different directions. With this, Goku's main mission here on Namek is done. However, there is just so much for him to learn here. Upon asking more about Kami, he found out that he doesn't know very much about Namekian techniques. If Goku wants to learn them, it will be better for him to stay here. Goku asks Dende about where he can train and who can teach him. His first man is none other than Nail, Guru's personal protector, with a power level of 42,000 contending with the actual Ginyu force and well above Vegeta's own. He is a very strong warrior. Of course, Goku is much stronger than him, but Nail is also much stronger than every other Namekian here, and he is a very capable martial artist. It's best that he learned from him. Bulma and Yamcha decide to head on their way home themselves, while Goku stays here and is now under the direct tutelage of Nail. However, before they leave, Yamcha is offered a parting gift. Guru himself gives him a potential unlocking to make him stronger, and this brings his power level all the way up to 750. This is what I'm talking about, Yamcha says, with excitement, flexing his newly powered muscles. After this, Yamcha thanks the Namekians for their gift, then heads with Bulma back to Earth in the spaceship. At this same point, Goku is to begin his training with Nail. Nail gears him up by showing him some of the easier techniques that Namekians can use that aren't exclusive to Namekians. The first technique is telepathy. Now, Goku didn't even know something like this was possible, but it's very cool. Even though it's not exactly related to battle, he wants to learn it as he believes it would be quite useful to know. Communicating with someone without anybody else knowing about that can surely be useful in different situations. Much to Nail's surprise, by the end of the first day of his training, he can already talk using telepathy. Now, it is hard for him to do so, and sometimes the way he transmits his thoughts is a little muddled, but he's already exceeded Nail's expectations. Additionally, there's ki sensing. Now, Goku can already do this form when he was taught by Mr. Popo, but Nail works to make this even more accurate. Not only is he working to sense it, he's also learning to gauge it and of course control his own signature. During this time, Kami has been revived and Mr. Popo has tears of joy from seeing that he has been revived. Goku really did it. However, shortly after they realise that this means someone else has been revived, King Piccolo. The man lifts from the forest that Goku had killed him in and looks around to see the place is quite different. The trail from Goku's Kamehameha wave has been completely etched into the ground, with little vegetation managing to grow through the cracks in this trail. What happened? Why am I here right now? He wonders. He then brings himself back to what happened. Ah yes, that boy. He remembers seeing that blue blast head his way, but then nothing happened after. He killed him. That boy. No, that can't be right. He was strong, yes, but there's no way that kid single-handedly defeated him and all of his children. No, he won't stand for it. King Piccolo is quite enraged upon thinking back to this and sends off several new offspring to different areas of the planet to wreak pure havoc. Now, this terror alerts the Z fighters to what's going on. They have to stop this. Krillin arrives in a city where Drum is. The Namekian demon looks a lot larger and more physically imposing than Krillin, but the human doesn't care. He isn't going to let that get to him. No, he knows that he has the power to stop this thing. Leaping forward, Drum and Krillin collide, but somehow Drum is knocked straight back like he's been hit by a cannonball out of a cannon. Krillin doesn't stop his advance and throws a number of punches, with each one causing grave damage. In the end, he is left knocked out on a building, and Krillin moves on to try and take down the other offspring. The others can deal with the other offspring, and they are all brought to King Piccolo, who stands before Tien, Chaozu and Krillin. I wasn't expecting to see you people facing me. Where's Goku? He calls out. Goku, he's not on this planet right now. You're lucky that he's not here, because if he was, he wouldn't be breathing right now, Yamcha claims. King Piccolo just chuckles. Don't play games with me. It's best you bring him here because all of you stand no chance, King Piccolo claims. Now, these humans have been training and training hard. After 3 years, it's not like they haven't gotten stronger. Tien rushes forward at full pelt and clashes with King Piccolo, pushing against him as hard as he can. King Piccolo can keep him in place and his power does surprise the group. However, against all 3 of them, the fight won't be easy for the Demon King at all. Krillin comes in from the side and lands a kick straight to his side, knocking him off course. In the very next moment, Tien begins using his forearm technique to throw a relentless flurry of punches. Now, King Piccolo is a skilled and fast warrior and he can block some of these hits. However, against 4 arms, there is little that he can do. He ends up getting hit by many of them, and in this time, Chaozu and Krillin can rush in there and attack him when he's preoccupied with Tien's assault. King Piccolo just grunts, furious at the fact that he's been hurt this badly by these humans. Suddenly, Tien hits him with a solar flare and briefly blinds him. Get him, Tien shouts, as all 3 of them speed forward while shouting to deliver the final assault. King Piccolo can't even see it coming, so they can throw whatever they want, knowing that the hit will land. After this massive assault, King Piccolo is left on one knee, beaten and bruised. As he looks up again, he can see all 3 of them charging an energy wave. He just doesn't get a break. The blasts all combine together to form the Kamehameha Tri-Beam, and King Piccolo is forced to launch his Demon Wave to try and retaliate. The blasts collide, but as soon as they do, the old Namekian's legs give in, and he feels his blast already being pushed back. Being slid back and feeling his blast getting thinner and thinner, there's nothing that he can do. All he can do is vehemently shout, now knowing that the end of his life is very near. However, at the last second, someone grabs him and the 3 blasts go firing off into the distance. Yamcha? Tien asks. King Piccolo shoves himself off Yamcha, then attempts to shoot a blast at point blank range. He does so, then lets out a light chuckle only to see that Yamcha has his arms up and hasn't really been affected. That old guy really made me stronger, Yamcha whispers to himself, looking at his unaffected arms. As King Piccolo goes in to attack him again, Yamcha rushes in and taps the side of his neck, knocking him clean out. It didn't even look like he put that much effort into it either. Who are you and what did you do with Yamcha? Krillin asks, astounded by his raw power. It's a long story, Yamcha replies, before dusting off his hands. After about 6 months or so, Goku has learned many techniques from Nail: ki sensing, telepathy, size manipulation, material creation, the energy shield, and telekinesis. With such versatile techniques, the way he fights is so different now. After this training period, his power level has increased to 200,000. This is primarily due to the power boost he has received from Guru. He wasn't really training to increase power level, but to just become a more versatile fighter. After this point, he heads on his way home, and they gift him a faster Namekian spaceship than the one Kami used to get back. It only takes him 10 days to get back to Earth, which is enough time so that he arrives the day before the World Martial Arts Tournament. He heads to the lookout to just talk to Mr. Popo and Kami for the first time ever. Mr. Popo tells Kami great things about the boy, and he can tell that he's trained hard just from how he looks. He looked muscular in the canon, but here he's something else. His body fat is extremely low and his body looks like it was chiseled by an artist of the Renaissance. There's the World Tournament, isn't there? Goku asks, with his orange gi and the Kami symbol on his back. There is. Are you looking to participate? Mr. Popo asks. Of course. It's been great training up here, Goku says, before saluting to Mr. Popo. No problem. You're welcome whenever, Goku, he replies. Goku chooses to just leap straight off the lookout and opens his arms wide as he just ascends through the skies. It's great to be off this lookout looking at what the world has to offer. He slows himself down, flipping a few times to come to a stop before he blasts off and creates a loud sonic boom from his flight. As he flies, he just starts to think. This bright world is great, but why does he find training so much better? Anyway, he meets his friends once again and he looks like a total outcast. Not only does he look physically older than those that are his age mates calendar wise, but he has an insane physique. The tournament is soon underway and Goku looks a little bummed out to see how much weaker everyone else is than him. With a power level so unbelievably high, he finds this extremely boring. During this time, Goku takes the chance to try and work on his special techniques. Whilst he was in the hyperbolic time chamber, he wasn't just getting stronger but mastering everything everything in his arsenal. His mastery over the Kamehameha is so great that he can shoot 5 individual Kamehameha waves, one from each of his fingers. They look quite weak and akin to laser blasts, but when they hit something they cause a lot more damage than expected. The final is Goku against not Piccolo Jr. but Yamcha instead. The two Turtle Hermit fighters have come together to test their skills, and Yamcha isn't going to go down without a fight. Goku has been off training, but so has Yamcha. He's been working on his Wolfang Fist along with improving his martial arts skills to make himself a stronger, more adept fighter. Yamcha's power level is now at 900 after this time, making him the strongest human on Earth by a long shot. Goku and Yamcha push their way through the whole tournament, where they meet each other in the final. "Alright Goku, I've been training hard for this moment, you best not take this fight too lightly," Yamcha claims, making his own fighting stance. "Of course," Goku replies. The two warriors wait in silence before the fight can commence, and then they're given the green light. Yamcha rushes forward, guns blazing. To those watching, it's like he's a total blur. Landing a punch on Goku's forearm, it carries a heavy impact and actually sends Goku sliding back. Yamcha can tell he's done something right here, and a smile appears on his face. Making Goku fall back by that amount fills him with confidence, and he continues in this aggressive manner. Goku can block or evade some of the attacks, but the majority of them break through his guard and truly hurt him. Yamcha thrusts forward his fist, aiming for Goku's head. This came straight after a kick to the abdomen, and Goku's hands are too low down to block this. Yamcha's fist crashes into his face, jerking his head back. Goku just performs a backflip so that he doesn't fully fall before wiping a slightly bleeding nose. "Come on, fighting so defensively like that will get you nowhere," Yamcha shouts. The fight is almost boring to him now. He hadn't been training for years on end for this fight to end up like this. Even after Goku stayed on Namek to train there, this is how strong he is upon coming back. No, Goku has just been practicing his ki control the whole time. He's been gauging Yamcha's ki signature to estimate how strong he is, bringing down his own signature so that he is weaker. All Goku does is spike up his ki signature, which releases a powerful aura. The ground beneath him cracks under the pressure, and several rocks around him lift and float. "You really have gotten stronger, Yamcha. You even fight differently too," Goku says, with praise and a smile. Goku doesn't take this humiliation to heart. He is a totally pure person anyway. It only fills him with happiness to see how much work the Yamcha has put into his craft. His muscles are vitalized with more power, and he rises his power level up to about 10,000. Speeding forward, Yamcha can't even see him move, and he lands a single punch to his gut that he assumes is quite light. He puts very little effort in, but Yamcha still spits out blood before falling to his knees. "No, sorry," Goku calls out, feeling immediate guilt for his actions. "No problem, Goku, we're in a fight, come on," Yamcha says, before thrusting himself back up. "Wolfang Fist," he calls out in the very next moment, where he then lands a sequence of swift and powerful slams that create this swirling wind around his arms. Goku can catch each attack easily though. No matter how fast he can make his attack, Goku is just that much faster. For the last move, Goku grabs his wrist and throws him overhead. Yamcha can see that based on his trajectory, he will fall out the ring and lose. There aren't many options. Thinking on his feet, he launches a Kamehameha straight at the ground, keeping himself in the bounds of the ring and thrusting him straight onto the gridded arena again. "Well, you had me nervous that I'd lose there," Yamcha says, before getting back up. He grits his teeth as the pain from the hit to his gut is still there. However, he steals through it and continues, as a warrior should. The next move in his arsenal is the Spirit Ball. He hurls the golden ball toward Goku, and it seems to just phase straight through him. Toward Goku's right is now another image of him, and then several images appear across the ring after this happens. Yamcha just lifts the blast, intending to hurl it down and blow up the whole area. However, there is a translucent energy shield that encases all of these images of Goku, so the blast detonates around it. Goku is left unscathed, and the shield then fades along with these after images. Just what is even happening? There's too many techniques that he uses that he just hasn't seen and therefore hasn't prepared for. In the very next moment, Goku lifts him off his feet and then pushes him to the edge of the ring. Now, Goku's telekinesis isn't as strong as he is. He can't just move objects with the same force as his body can, but since he's just so much stronger than Yamcha, this is still a problem. He tries to get his feet back on the ground, but he can just see himself edging closer and closer to the edge of the ring. Again, he is forced to use the Kamehameha to apply pressure against Goku's phantom push, allowing him to move forward and fall out of Goku's grasp for a split second. "Now I'm ending this," Yamcha roars. He can see that Goku has too many witty techniques, and dragging this thing on too long will only be bad for him. He launches a full power Kamehameha wave straight toward Goku, who fires back with a very weird attack. 5 blue finger beams emit from his hand, one from each finger, and hit the blast head on. These blasts aren't just laser blasts that get consumed by the much larger Kamehameha though. They apply pressure and push it back until they meet in the midpoint. finger Kamehameha waves. The precision and ki control that one would need to do this is phenomenal. Krillin and Master Roshi watch on from the sidelines, dumbfounded by Goku's control. Eventually, Yamcha can feel his blast being pushed back and even himself as well. A few seconds later, he is thrown out the ring and the fight is over. Goku is crowned the winner for the 3rd year in a row. Yamcha looks bummed out that even after getting that potential unlock, he wasn't able to take down Goku and win. Don't worry Yamcha, you did well. I did just get trained on Namek for 6 months straight, Goku explains. I guess so. It still feels bad, but don't think this is the end. You've only won once, Yamcha says, pointing straight at Goku. It's weird, Krillin wasn't expecting Yamcha to have such a will to get stronger. When training under Master Roshi, he was struggling to get by and find the motivation to get through his harsh regime. It didn't really seem like he was a fighter. However, after receiving Guru's potential unlocking and seeing what Goku can do, it's developed this competitive side to him. Anyways, what comes next is the 5-year time skip between Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z. Goku spent this time in canon just being with his family and mostly doing nothing. However, now Goku can't stop thinking about the hyperbolic time chamber. Therefore, he enters on the very next day after the tournament, spending almost 2 years in there. He continues in this fashion, spending almost 2 years in exiting before the door closes, only to enter the chamber again. During this time, he's been focusing on many things, mastering the techniques that he knows and making more advanced variations of them so that they can become more useful. He can now use things like the after image to a near perfect accuracy and improves on his telekinesis. His telekinesis is so good now that it acts almost as a phantom hand. He can precisely move about articles of clothing like he's grabbing them and moving them around using his own hands. He's also fused to shape-shifting abilities that he learned from Oolong and the gigantification ability he learned from Nail to be able to change the sizes and shapes of specific parts of his body. Soon after, Gohan is born, Goku's son. To try and be with him more, he spends quite a lot of time outside the chamber, or he doesn't train much outside the chamber. However, when he's on the lookout and training, that is when he puts those things behind him and properly gets working. In these 5 years, Goku continues to go in and out of the chamber, and trains in there like he did to fight Cell in canon. He's training like his life depends on it, simply because he loves it so much. With his young, growing son Gohan now in his life, what more could he ask for? 5 years pass and Raditz arrives on Earth. As soon as he lands, actually as soon as his ship enters the atmosphere, Goku is alerted. His level of ki control is so great that he can sense things like this. Even things like natural disasters he can sense due to the concentrated loss of life force in a particular area. It lets Goku be a proper force of good and he starts acting more like a world hero in places. Of course there aren't many disasters for him to help with in the first place, so it's not like he's known by everyone. Raditz, as soon as he steps out his ship, sees Goku facing him. "Who are you?" he asks. Raditz looks at this man and the resemblance with him and his father is uncanny. "Kakarot, it must be you. How did you know that I'd come here?" Raditz asks. From how Goku met him instead of the other way around, he assumes that Goku knows who he is. "Wait, who I am? I'm your brother, Raditz," Raditz replies. "Brother, I don't have a brother, I'm from here," Goku explains. Raditz looks at him for another moment before laughing. "From here? What, did you hit your head or something?" Raditz asks. After staying here for a brief time, Goku soon realizes that he might actually be an alien. It doesn't make any sense to him though. Why would he be an alien? Was Grandpa Gohan not really his grandpa then? As they talk further, Raditz explains that Goku needs to complete his mission of exterminating everyone on the planet. He must take out these humans so that this planet can be a sellable asset for the Frieza Empire. Genocide. He wants him to commit genocide. Goku thought that he wouldn't be a threat, but from what he's just said, he knows that he can't take this issue lightly. "I can't do that," Goku replies sharply and firmly. He's not going to do such a heinous thing, and this guy won't either. A power level of 5. What happened, Kakarot? Did they give you some weakening drugs or something? You're like an ant, Raditz shouts. "Ah, that's more reasonable, but still terrible. It looks like my scouter was bugging," Raditz says. This is when he sees Goku's power rising and it hits 500. Raditz can still feel superior until it hits about 1000. Now he has a little bit of respect for Goku. Getting to a 1000 power level is quite impressive, but there is still a considerable gap between them. 1000, that's more like it. In a flash, Goku's power level shoots up to 10,000. Raditz just takes off his scouter before throwing it on the ground. "Why is that thing so bugged? They always give me the terrible ones," Raditz thinks, before looking back to Goku. "If you don't comply, I'm going to force you to cooperate," Raditz claims. "Alright then, if that's how you want it to be," Raditz shouts, flying straight to Goku. Throwing a punch as he leaps forward, Goku just steps to the side to see his punch fly past him. Raditz front flips so that he doesn't go flying forward too far, then whips back around to try and hit Goku. However, he becomes an after image and the real Goku jumps up and away. "Ah, so annoying," Raditz roars, before launching an energy blast up at him. All this blast does is hit a protective shield and doesn't get anywhere near Goku himself. What? As Raditz lifts his hand up again, he can see Goku holding it down. Looking to his right, his other arm is being held by another Goku. A third Goku then descends to land in front of him with a firm face. I'm not going to hurt anyone and I'm not going to let you either. If all you want is trouble here, then get off the planet, Goku insists. Raditz isn't stupid, he knows power when he sees it. He literally can't move his arms right now, like not even shake them. The amount of fear he feels is great. It brings him back to when he angers Vegeta, where he has to do anything he can to appease him. In the face of someone so powerful, he hasn't got the power to do anything. All he can do is do what the other party says and hope the best for himself. Fine, Raditz shouts, with slight humiliation as he rushes into the spaceship and flies off. Goku watches him closely as his ship gets smaller and smaller until it vanishes. He even makes sure to watch the key signature until it then fades away. I wonder what that was about. Am I really an alien? Wait, what if there are other strong fighters like him out there that are even stronger than him, Goku wonders. He then curses himself for not questioning him further. I mean, his power level was much lower than his, but he was even stronger than Yamcha. From what he was saying, he was under quite a few people in this empire he was on about. There's got to be other strong warriors like him out there. Goku can't question him further, but what he can use is the trusty dragon Shenron to ask more about who these Saiyans are. Goku appears before Shenron after swiftly gathering the Dragon Balls, and Shenron has been activated. Explain to me about where I come from, who I am, Goku asks. Alright, you hail from a race called the Saiyans, a race renowned for their physical prowess and genetics built for battle and warfare. These Saiyans all hailed from the planet Sadala, but due to a planet-wide extinction event, were forced to move to the planet Vegeta, named after their king at the time. You, Goku, are a low-class Saiyan warrior that hails from the planet Vegeta. Your father is Bardock, a low-class warrior that is also the father of Raditz, your brother. Unfortunately, the planet was destroyed and almost the entire Saiyan population was wiped out, only leaving a handful of Saiyans behind, Shenron furthers. How do I find those other Saiyans? Goku asks. I'm sorry, but that's your whole wish. I can answer it in a year's time when I am next activated. Farewell, Goku, Shenron says. The Saiyans, gone. His father is gone as well. That's quite saddening now that Goku thinks about it. I mean, he has little connection to those people, he never actually met them, but the Saiyans are his actual race. To hear that they're pretty much gone is sad. However, he's at least happy to hear that some remain. With Raditz gone, Goku isn't aware of the Saiyans that are to come in a year's time. However, something interesting happens during this break. As Goku is training outside his home practicing martial arts moves, he sees his son go next to him to practice those same moves as well. Gohan. It surprises him, but Gohan looks quite enthusiastic. Guess he's more like him than he expected. I hate always sitting inside studying. I want to become strong and a fighter like you, Dad, Gohan says, throwing punches just in the same way as Goku. Goku just chuckles as he sees his willingness to train like him. It's almost like a time machine, taking him back to his very first training sessions. Alright then, I'll show you, but you have to prove to me you have what it takes, Goku says, with a firm tone. Gohan feels a little scared at first. He's never seen his father this serious. However, Goku doesn't know what light training is. To him, that's not training. True training is reaching your limits, day in and day out, then breaking past them. That's what this is all about. So, Gohan's training period begins. Goku works on teaching him the foundations. Now, Goku is a better teacher than he was in canon at this point, since he's just trained for so much longer. However, he certainly isn't a great one. It's still much better than Piccolo's method of just leaving him in the wilderness and making him grow that way. Vegeta and Nappa arrive months later after Raditz came back with news that Goku's power level was 10,000. This is just too funny. Vegeta has to see it for himself. How can someone like Goku even touch the 5-figure values in power level? The two Saiyans arrive and land in East City. Before they can destroy anything though, Goku appears in front of them. I thought I told you not to come here, Goku barks out. You best not act so confident in front of these guys. I might not be as strong, but these guys are the real deal, Raditz shouts. Don't speak for me, Raditz, Vegeta shouts, shoving him to the side to take a step forward. I think you added an extra 0 in there somewhere, Nappa says, before he bursts out laughing. For Nappa and Vegeta, all they see is the number 1000 next to Goku. Yeah, I can't believe you brought me all the way here for this, Vegeta shouts, before looking back to Raditz. He can see Nappa's laughing face, but his face suddenly falls cold and straight. In the next moment, he takes a step back. In his scouter, he can then see a message of a very strong individual stood behind him. Turning back, he can see a power level of 40,000 and rising. Breaks past 100,000 and shows no sign of slowing down. Now, Vegeta would assume their scouters are malfunctioning, but he can then feel this intense pressure coming from him. He's the real deal. Goku shouts, revealing a good portion of his power, and his power level steadies at 250,000. This should be more than enough, he says to himself, clenching his fists. The Saiyans are too stunned to move. Vegeta doesn't really have thoughts going through his mind, it's gone totally blank. The only thing commanding him now is instinct. Lifting both hands, he launches 2 energy blasts straight at Goku and they look to hit the target cleanly. They violently explode, but before the explosion can expand and cause havoc to the surroundings, Goku places an energy shield around the detonation point. He brought that shield that was over him up and around these blasts so that they wouldn't harm those around them. Now the blast still causes windows to shatter, the ground to rumble, and some people to momentarily lose their hearing, but it gives those in the vicinity the chance to escape. Don't hurt anyone, Goku shouts, looking around at the terrified humans. You don't tell us what to do, we'll only be doing what you should have done decades ago, Nappa roars, before lifting his hand. Before he can fully lift it though, Goku grabs him and stops him from lifting it fully. I told you not to do anything, so listen, Goku says, pulling his hand down to his side. Nappa can't do anything to stop his push. He can't move his arm any other way. Vegeta just looks up and launches a moon into the sky, making the other two Saiyans smirk. Let's see how you fare with this now, Nappa says, smiling. Now, Goku never got rid of his tail. He never had to use it in the Emperor Pilaf saga and never used it in any World Martial Arts tournament, so it was never removed. Looking up into the sky, Goku gets sucked into the ball's power as well. Nappa, Raditz, Goku and Vegeta all turn into monstrous Uzaru, with Raditz and Nappa staying back to let Vegeta command the battle. Running straight to Goku, he slams into him but sees that he doesn't move. The mindless Goku turns to him, wildly beating his chest before grabbing him and headbutting him. The headbutt breaks his skull while also making him lose his footing. Vegeta falls and the others feel like they should step in, but how can they? If Goku just dropped Vegeta like that, only God knows what that will do to them. Goku then throws down strike after strike as Vegeta is still down on the ground. He just continues firing off these attacks with remorselessness and fury. Seconds later, Vegeta doesn't seem to be moving. Once he sees that he is no longer moving, Goku continues pounding his chest, then turns to the other Uzaru that are stood behind him. Opening his mouth wide, he launches a large red blast straight at them. This blast slams straight into these two Uzaru before they have the chance to retaliate and ends up violently detonating. Nothing's left of the two Uzaru. The fake moon overhead continues to fuel Goku's body and keep him in the beast-like rageful state that he's in. It's like he's totally lost his sanity. He continues beating his chest with vigor and slamming down on the city's remains. He can just run and kick down skyscrapers, grabbing the tall structures to chuck them around. This alerts almost all of the fighters on the planet, where they come together a distance from Goku to watch this happen. What is going on here? Krillin asks. I have no clue, but we have to find a way to stop that thing, Yamcha states, standing at the front of the group. After training for the last 6 years since the 2013 Kaichi Budokai, his power level has risen to 2000. It's not crazy, but it's very impressive for a human. Krillin is catching up there with a power level of 1850, and Tien is doing the same with a power level of 1950. It's just too strong and massive though, can you not see it? Krillin comments, looking at the beast wreak havoc. There's only one way to stop this thing. It might be strong, but it's not taking nits, Krillin says. A high-power buzzing golden disc appears in his hand as he then lifts into flight. The destructo disc soars toward Goku and becomes a small speck of golden light for them to view as it gets further and further away from them. Goku turns and can see this disc whizzing toward him. Out of instinct he leaps over it, but this leaves his tail to dangle down. Therefore the destructo disc goes straight through the tail, slicing it clean off. It looks like he's been weakened by that somehow, as he falls straight to the ground and doesn't get up. In the next moment he can feel himself getting smaller and smaller. Goku looks around and in this moment it looks like he can see what he's done. However, once he is back to his fully human form, he is asleep. The crew rush over there to see what's happened, only to see a sleeping Goku on the ground. What, that was him, Krillin says, almost feeling lightheaded from this revelation. He just can't understand why something like that would happen, but now that he thinks about it, he saw a body that looked just like Goku's. Turning to look behind, he can see Vegeta's body just lying there. Who is this guy, he wonders, dropping down to touch his neck. Gone. He feels no pulse and knows that the guy's passed. Should we try and revive him with the Dragon Balls, Tien asks. Why should we do that? I'm pretty sure that Goku killed this guy and he most likely had a good reason for doing so, Yamcha replies. Had a reason? It looked like he had totally lost his mind out there. I don't think he could have discerned between good and evil in that moment, Tien furthers. Yamcha just nods because that explanation does make sense. How could Goku have realised that in such a berserk state? He could be a threat. Even if Goku is strong, I don't like that we don't know how strong this guy is. We'll just ask Goku for answers, Krillin says, walking over to Goku. The group pick him up and just take him back home, where he wakes up and they tell him about everything that happened. Goku has faint memories of what just happened and remembers him killing both Nappa and Raditz himself. He also killed Vegeta. It felt like he had just lost control of himself completely. It was weird. Who were those guys? Krillin asks. My race, Goku replies, making everyone stood around him confused. Your race? Yes, I'm an alien. I'm not a human, but I'm from a race called the Saiyans. They're not from this planet and they came searching for me. Apparently I was given a mission at birth to destroy every life form here. I don't know what they're on about because I don't remember being told anything like that. They realised I wasn't going to complete the mission, so they tried to do it themselves. One of them then threw a white ball of light into the sky, and then that's the last vivid memory I have of what happened, Goku furthers. I think I know what happened. It's a power of yours that the Saiyans have. Under some form of light you transform into massive ape-like monsters. He was probably doing that to try and fight and defeat you, Tien deduces. I think so as well. Across the galaxy though, somebody arrives on a certain planet, Frieza. Vegeta's scouter fell off his head after he began his Uzaru transformation, and he overheard Krillin's talk about the Dragon Balls. He thought those magic balls were rumours, but from what he is hearing that is not the case. They can truly grant wishes. Therefore he heads over to Namek to see what's happening and sends his whole army to pillage any village they find to locate their Dragon Balls. Nail can feel this destruction and feels great fear. Can he stop Frieza? It doesn't matter because he's the only strong fighter here. Even if he'll lose, it has to be him. However, in this moment, someone else pops into his head. Goku is just getting ready to start his training once again and is doing so with his son this time. Gohan's power level has risen high from Goku's focused, efficient training that he's put him through. His power level is now at 10,000 and is still growing quickly. Goku, I need your aid, a voice calls out in his mind. Who is this? Nail? Goku asks back. Yes, I'm speaking to you from Namek. There's a terrible threat that arrived on the planet. An emperor is coming here asking for all of our Dragon Balls and he's killing our people as he looks for them. Okay, I'll be there as quickly as I can, Goku replies. Gohan overhears this and is a little confused. Who are you talking to there? He asks. I need to go. We need to go to Namek, Goku replies. What? Goku needs to see what's happening on Namek, and along with him come a set few fighters. He takes his son with him and this will be the first test of his strength. He never had to face the Saiyan since Goku just did that himself. Yamcha comes along and so does Krillin and Tien. It's a much larger force than before and Bulma works on the Namekian spaceship that Goku used to get back to Earth. The ship is fast enough so that it will only take them a few days to get to Namek. As they're off, the Frieza army is still wreaking havoc on the planet. Nail has to wait for days, praying that the army don't use extreme brutality against his own people. It feels painful to watch these things happen, but he can't anger Frieza. If he steps in and tries to fight him directly, he can make him want to use even more force. That is something he hopes will not happen, because if it does, the whole planet will be in danger. A few days later, Nail can sense Frieza's army fighting around the key signatures of Namekian children. He's waited before, but now he just can't. Flying straight off the lookout, even going against Guru's wishes, he lands ahead of the Frieza soldiers. Dodoria, Zarbon and Frieza. Stop this now, don't hurt them, they've done nothing to you, Nail insists, placing his arm out to act as a barrier between them. This warrior seems a lot more capable than the others. We had simply asked for the Dragon Balls, we weren't going to use force if you didn't resist, Frieza replies. Nail can't stand for that logic. They can't hand Dragon Balls to people of this dark, impure nature. Just get rid of him if you won't comply, Frieza states. Dodoria and Zarbon obey his order, and Dodoria is the first to try and take him out. Nail is a Namekian warrior and he can accurately gauge how strong this warrior will be. He won't be a threat. As he storms forward, Nail dips under his first strike, then flips away from any subsequent attacks. As he lands, he then blasts forward and with great speed. His cloak flows wildly from the air that rushes over him and he lands a single strike to Dodoria that drops him to his knees. His whole body starts shaking from the pain of that strike and Nail doesn't stop there. Jumping ahead, he swings his foot around to kick him straight in the head. This knocks Dodoria back but also knocks him out. He falls flat onto his back and doesn't look to be getting up anytime soon. Zarbon has respect for the man's power, but that's it, just respect. He's much stronger than Dodoria and won't be scared by an attack like that. Powering up, a silver aura of ki envelops him as he joins the fight himself. Throwing a sequence of relentless punches, Nail becomes a blur as he evades every single one of them. Oh wow, what a good fighter. If I can make him part of my army, Frieza wonders. Too bad he's got a pure heart. Can't work with that, he thinks, as the fight continues. Nail leaps into the air, performing a swift front flip to then shoot down his foot onto Zarbon's head. The impact is strong and sends the Frieza fighter staggering back a few steps. Nail then elongates his arms, grabbing Zarbon's own arms before pulling him back with great force. Finally, he thrusts forward his fist to break Zarbon's armor by smashing it into his chest. To finish off this attack, he lifts and then shoots out both of his legs in a double drop kick, sending Zarbon sliding back across the blue Namekian grass. The Namekian lands and makes his stance, showing he's ready for more. Zarbon, however, doesn't feel the same way. There's a strong dull ache from his chest after those hits landed, but you can't just submit now, you can't show such weakness. This isn't even his full strength, there's nothing to worry about. Lifting back up, he shakes off his body before giving off a maniacal grin. Let's see how you deal with this, Namekian. You'll be wishing that you just listened to Frieza, Zalama says, with a smirk. His body begins to grow and Nail's face falls firm and straight upon feeling his ki increase. Zalama's body becomes more grotesque and monstrous as he enters his transformed state. Chuckling as he feels this new power, he's ready to go again. He shoots himself forward and cracks the ground from his heavy jump. Zarbon adopts a tight stance and Zarbon slams straight into an energy shield. However, the fighter has a lot of raw strength now. With a sluggish but powerful punch, the shield comes crashing down. Nail already has his arms lifted, so the kick that Zarbon throws out just lands on them. He can still feel the force of the impact throughout his body though. It pushes him a good distance back and makes him rethink his strategy. Fighting with utmost confidence and relaxation isn't the way forward any longer. Zarbon continues in this aggressive manner, giving Nail little time to think and strategize. Punches keep coming flying in at him, but one thing that he notices is the lack of speed. He can find openings and pick Zarbon apart, landing quick and powerful shots without getting hit himself. Zarbon can try and continue aggressively, but this style of fighting soon starts to wear him down. As he swings in a hook, Nail dips under it and fires off with a number of uppercuts into his gut, with each one winding him. The subsequent uppercuts just leave him in a worsened state and leave him to fall to a knee. Nail, stepping back, pulls his body clockwise before thrusting out his left leg for a heavy back kick. His heel crashes into Zarbon's face, knocking out one of his teeth and causing blood to come out. Finally, he punches the green fighter straight in his neck. This causes far more damage than Zarbon would have expected as he coughs out blood and feels that his voice box has been crushed. Nail makes his stance again, but can see Zarbon isn't in the condition to continue. He's been properly battered and beaten, just spitting out blood that continues to pool in his mouth. He launches a full power energy wave straight at Zarbon and there's nothing he can do to resist. After the blast is finished, a large trail of destruction is left behind and Zarbon has been turned to ashes. Nail then looks up to Frieza, who we can see already flying off into the distance. Just what do you want with us, Frieza? Have I angered you by doing this? If you wish pain upon anyone, I will make sure you focus it on me. Leave my people out of this, Nail thinks. He wants to use telepathy to beckon Frieza in, but the very thought of doing that terrifies him. Frieza isn't one to play someone's game. Even if he wants Frieza to leave other people out of this, he'll do just that to go against his wishes. With all of these thoughts racing through his head, Nail falls to a knee out of mental fatigue and just shakes his head toward the ground. In the next moment though, he can sense a strong ki has arrived. It must be Goku. Nail arrives in front of the crew and explains to them what has happened. He explains that fighting the Frieza soldiers has definitely made the situation worse. Soon after, Goku can feel the ki signature of several evil individuals hurtling toward the planet. Who are those people? I sense 5 ki coming here and fast, Goku says. The others have no clue what he's talking about, but Nail can soon sense them as well. I'm not sure, but I know this won't be good. Goku, I'll need your aid here. As soon as Yamcha has arrived here, he can sense that the power levels Goku and this guy has are way above his own. His power level is still 2000, which is slightly higher than the average Frieza soldier. Beyond that, it's not very interesting at all. As for the others, they're at around the same point. How do they even provide value at all? As much as they want to fight, they can tell they just get themselves killed. The best they can do now is just protect the Namekians that can't protect themselves. Goku flies with Nail to the scene, but Nail must leave at this very moment. He has to make sure that Guru is kept well protected, and with the great stress of these battles, it feels like he won't have much longer. Nail flies off, leaving this to the Saiyan, who looks fearless. Sensing their ki signatures from so close up, he has complete confidence in himself that he can get the job done. As the fighters appear from their space pods, Ginyu flies off to leave them to deal with this fighter. Goldo is the first to try and face him, and he begins by using his time freezing ability. Using his telekinesis, he thrusts a massive sharp wooden trunk toward him, only to see it break apart on his body. Time continues to run again, and Goku then sees the aftermath of this attack. He didn't even see it happen, and why can't he feel anything from it at all? Can this guy slow or even stop time? Just that very thought leaves a smile on Goku's face. What a great technique. Goldo then tries locking him up by freezing his body, and Goku takes a slow but powerful step forward. He can feel the pressure against him, but this won't be enough to stop him. Goku just continues walking forward, breaking past Goldo's restraints as he shouts in this walk. His power soon shoots up and all of their scouters pick up this growth in power. His power level stops at 300,000, where he then flies forward and kicks Goldo once in the head. This knocks him clean out, then he moves on to the other fighters. Dashing forward at top speed, he lands a single punch to Jace to leave him incapacitated, and then extends his arms to blow the remaining fighters away. Berta, upon seeing him fight, has only been thinking about his own speed. How can this guy be so fast? No, he's the fastest fighter in the universe. Only he can claim that title. Blasting forward at breakneck speed, he attempts to catch Goku by surprise with his immense speed. He lets off a flurry of attacks and everyone can see just how explosive this man is. Each of his attacks just continues to fire and fire off. However, no matter how fast he tries to make his punches, no matter how hard he tries, they can't land on the target. Goku can step to the side of them and tap them aside like they're half as fast as they are. Leaping over Berta, he models that same 360-degree fighting style that he'd seen from Mr. Popo, kicking Berta in the face before punching down onto his head. Both of these hits are too much for his body to endure, and it leaves him knocked out and unconscious. Goku then moves on to the last remaining target, Raccoon. He looks like the strongest from his far larger frame, but he can feel his ki. It's quite unimpressive. Raccoon charges forward and swings down his arms in the form of a double axe handle. However, as he does this, his arms just phase straight through him, an after image. Raccoon turns to kick at Goku only to hit a transparent shield. Hitting at it again, it just doesn't give in. Raccoon throws a sequence of powerful full effort strikes and feels the shield just as sturdy as it always had been. He's causing no damage whatsoever. The shield then fades and Goku just lands that same elbow to his stomach that he did in the cannon. I'll show an image of what I'm talking about. It knocks him clean out and Goku has single-handedly taken down the whole Ginyu force with little to no effort. Loosening up one of his wrists, Captain Ginyu arrives back from where Frieza was, only to see his own army has been defeated. From what he can see, they've been taken down with single hits as they didn't look to have incurred any grave injuries. This guy did this, really? Goku continues looking forward with his cold glare, and Ginyu can also sense his power level. It's extremely surprising for him, 300,000. He just can't believe the numbers that he's seeing. His scouter must be malfunctioning. All he has to do is look around to see that this isn't the case though. You should leave this place and stop causing harm to everyone here, Goku orders. The Dragon Balls are theirs, so they don't have to give anything to you. That's not gonna fly with Frieza. This is his planet, so what he says goes. If you don't move out the way, you're going against him, Ginyu explains. Fine, I warned you, Goku replies, before dashing ahead. Stepping to the side, the blast fires past him and he lands a powerful kick to his head. It lands straight to his forehead and leaves him stumbling. Before Ginyu can attack him again, he lands a straight punch to his chest and this shatters his armor. He coughs out blood and again fires off his mind switch blast. This is all he can do really. That punch alone has already left him in a bad state. Again, he misses the target and only hits an after image of Goku. No, not like this. Goku leaps forward and swings forward an elbow, knocking him off his feet and then launching him back to the ground. This time Ginyu can't get back up. His vision continues to sway and he can feel his arms shaking under just his body weight. At the hands of some random person. Does he work for Frieza? Who even is he? What are you? Ginyu asks, before he falls back onto his side. My name is Goku, and I'm gonna save this planet, Goku says. Stay down, and I won't have to hurt you anymore. Do what you know is best, Goku says, before turning away. Ginyu thinks of going against his word, catching him by surprise, but he stays on the ground and knows it's right to do so. Goku fires off towards Frieza as he's the only person left that he needs to confront. He just feels like he won't be able to change his mind though. He feels this uniquely evil ki from him. It seems like he's almost evil incarnate, evil by nature. As for the others, he could just use his strength to make them submit. As for Frieza the Emperor, he probably isn't even capable of doing that. Goku arrives at his ship after sensing his ki. He can tell it's Frieza from miles away. The evil nature behind the signature, the sheer power of the ki, it's definitely him. Looking through the ship, you can see Frieza just sat in his seat, just drinking from a glass of wine. The Emperor lifts and just walks out his room before appearing out the exit at the bottom of his ship. Greetings, Saiyan, Frieza says. Why do you cause all this havoc? Their Dragon Balls aren't yours to take, Goku says, back to him with his fist tight. This planet is mine, and therefore those Dragon Balls are mine as well. The grass you lay on is mine. The air you breathe is mine, Frieza says, stepping forward. Goku doesn't take a step back and stands firm. Standing his own ground, Frieza gets annoyed and starts the fight off with a bang. Soaring across the ground, Goku just steps to the side and watches the Emperor zoom straight past him. Frieza does slow himself down to try and turn, but just eats a punch straight to the face. A massive shockwave is released and he's sent rolling and crashing through the grass below. The clean hit was quite a shock to him, but he fires himself straight back into the battle. As Frieza continues to try and hit Goku, he sees that it's an impossible job. No matter how hard he tries, he can't land a single hit. Frieza shouts and thrusts forward his elbow, only to see Goku's body fade out due to becoming an after image. Goku then lands a strong knee to his back that shoots him forward. Now that hit causes damage. Frieza acts like he's just taking a slow leisurely rise, but that hit really did hurt him. Standing, he then turns to give off a crazy smile. You're gonna be the first to see this form. Be grateful, Frieza says, before wiggling his fingers. He enters position and Goku just stands there unconcerned. He hasn't had even a little bit of trouble facing Frieza up until now. Looks like this fight will be over real soon. Frieza now shows off his gargantuan second form, but he still can't gain the upper hand. Jumping ahead, Goku splits off into 10 separate clones. Goku doesn't continue his defensive style but begins controlling the fight. One of Goku's clones lands a clean uppercut to his chin to launch him into the air, then another clone flies up and past bastard. He hits him down like he's a volleyball, landing a clean double axe handle to send him hurtling back down to the ground. Before he can hit it though, another clone lands a precise side kick to the side of his head to send him flying around. For the finishing move, all the clones surround him as he rolls over the ground and simultaneously punch him down. A large crater forms from the simultaneous punches from all of these clones. After their attack is done, they all vanish. From his constant training, Goku can make every punch incredibly precise and powerful. The control he has over his body now when it comes to martial arts is insane. Punch he throws, he can get it to land exactly as he wants it to, and he can use every muscle fiber available to add as much power into the punch as he possibly can. Goku jumps from how Frieza shoots up to his feet, screaming at the top of his lungs. His body is encased in a violent purple aura of ki, and he springs back up now in his final form. His form is sleek as usual and packs far more power than before. Goku has insane sensing ability, so he can feel this immediately. Comparing it to his own strength, it doesn't scare him though. He feels like he'll still get that win in the end. After so many years of training under his belt, he's been filled with utmost confidence. Now, with the gap between their powers closing, Goku decides to continue his domination through the use of his versatile techniques. Goku splits into two clones, now at half strength, and each clone uses Tien's special forearms technique. Leaping up, the identical duos swerve around each other before directly attacking Frieza. One of them releases an intense wave of punches toward Frieza, and the punches move with such speed that each one lands with ease. They cleanly clash into his body and break bones on impact. Frieza continues to look around as fast as he can to try and catch these swift fighters before they can hit him, but his attempts are futile. All he can feel is their tough shins and punches continuously slamming into his body and the pressure from the created shockwaves. They continue to flow over him, and in the end, Goku's clones throw forward all four arms straight into Frieza's chest. The attack throws him back and sends him sliding over the grass. He covers a few meters from this attack, and Frieza clearly isn't in the best state. Blood flows down his body, and even his durable body has been battered down. Now Frieza was holding back, but after this performance he no longer wants to. Lifting up to 50%, he zooms toward Goku and hits straight into his energy shield. However, his attack cracks the shield. What? Goku wasn't expecting this. In his next strike, he breaks straight through the translucent shield to swing a quick punch toward Goku. He manages to evade the hit at the last second, but can't evade the strong kick that lands right on his abdomen. Now Goku tries to hold him back using telekinesis, but Frieza can easily resist it. He slows for a short while, feeling the intense pressure closing in from all sides, but it doesn't do much to him. He can break straight through it and headbutts Goku fiercely, knocking him back. Goku is used to fighting people with great technique and skill, but Frieza is the direct opposite. He fights almost like a wild animal, possessing immense raw power and strength while using it quite inefficiently. Even so, he's giving Goku a run for his money. Goku drives forward two straight punches to his face, but ends up eating a tail swing to the face. Before Frieza can step back and gain some range, Goku swings out a kick of his own. Due to his much greater height, he lands the hit to his chin and it knocks him to the side. Already back in his fighting stance, he remains ready for what Frieza will throw back at him. As the fight continues, it looks like it'll end in a stalemate. Goku feels like Frieza is physically superior to him, but due to his far greater technique, he's kept in the game. He can use his battle intelligence and techniques to throw Frieza off, using his telekinesis at the last second to take the sting out of his punches or move them just enough so that it facilitates his evasions or blocks. Both Goku and Frieza just look at each other panting and weakened. Frieza is furious that Goku has pushed him this far. This fight should be over by now. The area around them looks beaten up from their battle, and almost everyone in the area is watching this fight happen. They're all hoping that Goku can take the win home and free them from the Emperor. This is where it ends, saying, "You've gone far, I commend you for that, but this is where it ends." Frieza shouts and then looks down to enter his full power 100% form. His body puffs up, he reaches his ultimate strength, a 120 million power level. Goku can feel this intense pressure coming from him now and hasn't felt anything like it before. He's found it easy to sense people's power that are weaker than him, but this is different. Frieza roars and leaps ahead toward Goku, using his larger mass and strength to just slam into Goku and floor him. He hurls down his burly arms and cracks the ground from the intense hit. Goku coughs out blood and grunts in pain before erecting an energy shield to try and keep him safe. Frieza breaks straight through his shield, then grabs him by the neck. "Stop with those shields," he shouts, before slamming him into the floor. He slams him again and again and again. He just continues to throw him down, and Goku just can't do anything to stop him. From the distance, Gohan watches it with a still dead face. His eyes are opened wide and his body soon gets an intense tremble. It's like the blood is washed away from his face, giving him this pale complexion. It's not worth it, Gohan. Stay back, he's way too strong, Krillin insists, placing his hand in front of his chest to stop him. However, Gohan takes a single step forward and throws Krillin to his knees in the process. What power this kid has. He can see tears dripping down his face, and in a flash Gohan blasts up and toward Frieza. His power level is exploding up and he's getting faster and faster in the air as he flies. Punching Frieza straight in the face as hard as he can, he does move his head back, but that's about all he does. Frieza looks back at him with eyes of death, lifting his head slightly. Goku can see this and strugglingly says something. "No, Frieza, let him be. Hit me instead," Goku shouts, coughing up blood after saying this. "No, that's fine, Goku," Frieza says before kicking him in the head. Turning to Gohan, he lifts a finger and fires off a series of death beams into his body. Gohan just watches Frieza as he continues to fire these beams into his body. He stood for a second or so after receiving these death beams and can see darkness closing in from the periphery of his vision. He hits the ground with a thud and Goku could only just watch this happen. His healing factor has been fast, but not fast enough to get him back into the fight. It's still not fast enough so that it's instantaneous. As Goku sees this, he feels this burning sensation in his skin drawn from pure anger. Tears begin to flow down his face and in the next moment he screams at the top of his lungs in grief and fury. A golden aura roars around his body and he lifts to one hand and knee before getting back up completely. His eyes turn to a sea blue and his hair starts to lift before he lets out a final roar. Goku's hair switches to blonde and he reaches Super Saiyan. Turning to see his son on the ground, it only fuels himself more. It lets him know what his mission is, to take down Frieza. Turning back to Frieza, tears flow down his cheeks then stop short. Taking a single step, in the next one he is right in front of Frieza. He lands a single punch to his face and breaks his face, leaving several cuts down the side of his face as well. Goku charges forward and in his next hit breaks several ribs in his chest. Each of these hits just carry so much strength and causes massive amounts of damage. Frieza swings out to try and land a punch, but Goku slips past his hit and lands a punch to the top of his chest. He fires away, now with all of his ribs broken. Goku then just walks over to him, now standing over him. "Please spare me," Frieza says, before coughing up blood. Goku looks down on him for a few seconds, but his pure heart soon takes over. Shooting a portion of his energy to Frieza, it invigorates him greatly. "Leave this place and cause no harm again. If I hear that you're still causing trouble, you will see my face again," he shouts, pointing straight toward him. Frieza just nods, but he can't help but smirk. As Goku turns away, he shouts and fires a blast at him. Unlike in canon, the gap between them is incredibly great. This blast doesn't even make Goku turn. All it does is hit his energy shield that he has already erected. Then Goku turns to press down on his neck using his telekinesis. "I gave you a chance, Frieza. I gave you a chance," Goku roars, cracking the ground from the pressure that he applies. Throwing him into the air, he launches a one-hand Kamehameha and eviscerates the Emperor. As he looks into the sky, nothing remains. The job is done. He looks back down and then returns to his base form. Looking down to his fallen son, tears can't help but run down his face yet again. Since Frieza has been taken down, Goku is allowed to get the Dragon Ball so that he can wish for his son back. As for the other two wishes, they don't really need anything else. Frieza hasn't been allowed to cause as much havoc and Kami wasn't killed due to what was happening back on Earth. His first wish is to wish for an ancient Namekian master that can help him train as hard as possible. As for his final wish, he just wishes for a location of another planet with a lot of techniques that he could learn from close to Namek. The planet said to him is called Yardrat. He's never heard of it before, but you can't wait to see what that planet has to offer him in the future. After those wishes are complete, a glowing white image of a man appears in front of him that condenses into an adult Namekian. He wears a special white gown that glows under the light of the numerous suns overhead. "No way, it's him," Dende says with excitement and almost shock. "Greetings, Goku. I'm guessing that you brought me here for me to be your trainer. My name is Zalama," he explains. Goku tries to sense his ki, but for the very first time he feels absolutely nothing from him. Even animals have some form of signature. How can this person be like a corpse? "Why can't I sense anything from you?" Goku asks. "Don't worry, you have a lot to learn," Zalama replies. As he talks, he can hear this galactic undertone. It's like he speaks with the voice of the universe. Those that are Namekian around him drop to their knees, praying to him and praising him. Goku is a little overwhelmed by this and even Zalama tries to calm them. "Don't worry, my fellow Namekians, I am just like you. I am thankful of the praise, thank you all." Zalama has to meet the Namekians on the planet for now. For such an important figure to be resurrected from out of nowhere, Goku can't just take him away. Now Zalama explains that there's no issue and that they can teleport back to the planet whenever it's necessary. Several ceremonies are held and things of that sort upon his arrival, and even the Earthlings get in some of the fun while they're there. After that is done, Zalama teleports them all back to Earth where Goku's training can begin. Both warriors enter the hyperbolic time chamber and Zalama faces him. Alright then Goku, now I want to just see what you can do. Give it your all and just fight me. The Namekian consents Goku's ki, but he of course wants to see what else he has in his arsenal. Goku nods back to him and powers up into his Super Saiyan form. He charges forward, cracking the time chamber's floor to thrust himself forward. Then Goku splits up into an array of after images, using his immense speed to try and catch Zalama off guard. Something that surprises him is that he can track him as he switches between each after image. In Zalama's eyes, the after images aren't even there. Goku then sees that this likely won't work, and so he just goes straight forward and attempts to push him back using his telekinesis. Nothing happens. From behind Zalama, a clone appears and swings down for a double axe handle, but all he does is step forward. The attack misses him by literally an inch. Goku tries his hardest to try and hit Zalama, but no matter how hard he tries, he can't even get anywhere near him. No matter how close he thinks he's gotten, he makes the light step to let the hit blow past him. Zalama hasn't even hit him once, and maybe that's for the best. Goku zooms forward at top speed, aiming to hit him in the face with both arms, but finds that Zalama ducks under both incoming fists and taps him in the chest. This attack sends him flying up into the air, and he lands about 100 meters from Zalama, now in his base form. He coughs out from the pain and feels like he can't even breathe for a short while. After this point, Goku starts learning under Zalama, and the first thing he aims to teach him is God Ki. Before he uses anything else, that power will be incredibly useful for him. Goku works to try and sense the God Ki that Zalama surrounds him with, but it's still not easy for Goku. After a few months or so, he begins to sense the ki that flows around him. However, using that power just isn't the same. Goku is quite infuriated that he can't get this down yet. As for the other techniques he's learned previously, learning those was a far smoother process. After a meditation session is complete with the God Ki surrounding him, he begins a spar with Zalama. He continues in Super Saiyan but finds that it's incredibly hard to hit him still. No matter how hard he's grown, the massive gap between him and Zalama is still there. Goku learns to try and use his techniques in whissier ways, but finds that none of these approaches yield success. As he stands before Zalama, he calms himself and can feel the God Ki emitting off him. Working to absorb it, just as Zalama instructed, he opens his eyes that are now a scarlet red. His hair follows the same hue shortly after, and an aura of flames envelops his body. Now in Super Saiyan God, he smiles at the man before him before charging forward. Zalama smiles himself from feeling how much stronger he is. The spar is far more interesting for Goku, feeling how much stronger he's become. After he returns to his base form and absorbs the God Ki that was flowing through him, it gives him a massive power boost. After the year is complete, Zalama and Goku just head straight back into the chamber. In this second year, Zalama wants to teach him the ancient Namekian martial arts techniques, as well as the instant transmission that he is aware of. Now Zalama uses a form of teleportation that isn't the same as the Yardratians. Zalama explains that even though he knows a lot of techniques, he won't know everything of course. Even after he teaches him, he'll have to go out there and learn himself. However, Goku isn't concerned. He maintains this level of interest that completely surprises Zalama. He looks so happy going through that same struggle that puts people off. What burns and extinguishes others' embers only intensifies his flames of passion. Now in about a week outside the chamber, Goku has trained under Zalama for 4 straight years in that chamber. Goku just continues going in there, training and taking breaks outside the chamber to pass on this training to Gohan. Gohan is still motivated to train here, but he does find that struggle and pain hard to go through. However, he has a lot of discipline and is ready to put himself through that. When he sees his father training and not even being bothered by it, he only wants to emulate that sort of demeanor. Since he also has to train Gohan, he can't just spend all of his time in the chamber, so he gives himself fortnight to month-long breaks where he can train Gohan outside the chamber and spend time with his family, but in between he grinds in the chamber. After a full year, Goku has spent a massive 25 years inside this chamber. Goku stands at the edge of the lookout, having mastered Super Saiyan with a smile on his face. His muscles have become even more toned than they already were, and he's now wearing a totally white gi, similar to Zalama. It looks like those outfits that the ancient Greeks and those wore. I'll show an image of what I mean on the screen. You've made a lot of progress, young Saiyan. You remind me of someone of your species that existed a long time ago. How do I do that? Goku then asks, still taking in the serene view below him. There aren't many clouds, and so he's given a great view onto the area below. A god-hearted Saiyan with great talent. You're almost like his reincarnation of sorts. Actually, no. You're something unique for sure. Hearing that for me means a lot as well, Goku, Zalama says. I guess so, Goku states. He just continues taking in the view, allowing the slight wind to brush over his skin and silk clothing. What do you plan on doing now that you're back? Goku then asks. I'm not sure. When you've lived for so long, you do find it hard to do something that interests you. I've done everything that could ever please me. This has been fun. I've never done anything of this sort, to be honest. As for anything else I can do, I'm not sure. I do have an old friend I would like to see though, Zalama says. As he says this, he's referring to Zeno, the god of everything. I'll be back shortly, he states, before vanishing. In the next second though, Goku looks up and can feel Frieza's ki in the sky somehow. What? Did I not kill him back on Namek? He's back, Goku realizes, watching him soar down to the ground. Let's see what this is about, Goku says, crossing his muscular arms as he awaits his arrival. After all this time, Frieza has been given a mecha form and is even stronger than he was before. Landing alongside his father, Goku arrives to meet them there. Greetings Frieza, Goku says. His arms are still crossed and Frieza is immediately upset from his calmness. He should be angered at the fact that he's come here. It makes him seem like he doesn't even care that he's returned. He's going to make sure he regrets that attitude. Goku, Frieza replies. I told you that if you caused more trouble, you'd see me again, Goku calmly adds. Of course, and I'll be the last person you ever see, Frieza shouts. This Saiyan seems to really get on your nerves, Frieza, King Cold says, with his arms crossed. Frieza just snarls and calms down. He can't act as if Goku's gotten under his skin. No, he must act calm and as if he's above him. Not at all, father, Frieza says, after taking in a deep breath. Shall we begin? Goku asks, placing one hand behind his back and holding one hand forwards. Frieza just shouts and fires off toward Goku, instead just phasing right through him, another of his cheeky after images. Frieza can see 2 images of Goku, but he doesn't even care. Lifting both arms and screaming at the top of his lungs, he releases a massive explosive wave in all directions. A crater is formed beneath him and the planet shakes from this destruction. The explosive power gets so bad that Goku can see magma coming out from the bottom of the crater. It looks like if Frieza can't win, he'll take this planet with him. Leaping out this deep crater, Frieza swings in a kick to Goku's face, but he stops it with his telekinesis. Stopping Frieza in place, he swings him around to smash him downwards. This single hit snaps one of Frieza's arms and leaves him to cower away. Holding his free arm up to try and keep Goku away, he slowly lifts back up while hyperventilating from fear. Goku shoots out one fist and uses a telekinesis style punch to his gut that crushes many of his metal bodily components. Frieza drops to his hands and knees before coughing out blood. The components that have kept him alive are starting to malfunction before he could even land a hit. No, it can't end like this. Frieza vehemently screams, hitting the ground as hard as he can before looking up to Goku, who just looks as calm as ever. He tries to fight again, but Goku slips past him and lands an elegant tap to the side of his neck to incapacitate him. He's then sent tumbling into the crater he formed. Then Goku turns his attention to King Cold. I'm guessing you're his father. Just leave the planet, there's no use in you staying here, Goku states. I sense you aren't as strong as your son, don't end up like him, Goku coldly adds. This grinds the former Emperor's gears. One of his eyes twitch and he then sweeps one leg back. His cape flows elegantly from this movement and he tightens his hands into fists. You'd be foolish to think I'd call your bluff. Weaker than the same sun being kept alive by wires and batteries, King Cold asks, before charging in. The battle is on. He fires off with numerous punches, but as he throws each one, none can land on the target as he intends. Goku slips past each one, doing so with his hands behind his back. King Cold fires forward and tries to grab Goku to stop him, only jamming his fingers on the translucent energy shield that now surrounds him. You pest, King Cold roars out, holding his fingers in pain before trying to head forward again. Goku just sends out a telekinesis palm slam and this is what ends him. King Cold is left to slowly slide over the ground, now defeated and knocked out. Those around close in to see Goku, who looks like a different person. To be totally honest, it looks like he's come out from war. He has scars all over his physique but looks healthier and more vigorous than ever. Hello everyone, it's been a while, Goku says with his usual bubbly nature. What do you mean, we saw you last week, Krillin asks, a little confused. Oh yeah, Goku says, scratching the back of his head. He just spent 7 straight years in the hyperbolic time chamber, so to him, so much time has passed. He still has the body of a 25-year-old, so the only physical evidence of his struggles and training is the scars over his body. As this is happening though, future Trunks is watching from a distance. This isn't the Goku that he knew. The abilities that this version of Goku uses aren't anything like he was expecting. They told him that he was powerful and the strongest of them all, but they never said that he defeated Frieza with such ease. He basically killed his father without even touching him. Trunks introduces himself to Goku and talks to him about what is going to happen in 3 years' time. He's about to contract the heart virus and die, then the androids will be activated. This confuses Goku. Goku then explains to him that he's immortal and this leaves Trunks very confused. How did he die in his own timeline if he is somehow immortal in this one? This should just be the past. How come this timeline has changed so much? Is he in the right place? Trunks has many questions, but right now he's still against Goku, ready to spar him. Trunks begins using Super Saiyan, surprising the others. Another Saiyan has arrived, and a Super Saiyan for that matter. Trunks rushes forward and swings down his sword, only to see Goku not move at all. Goku tells him to really try and hit him, so he rushes in and swings down his sword. He smashes it onto his shoulder and slices down. He cuts the white cloth over his skin, but doesn't manage to cut his actual skin. Goku scratches the area that was cut before lifting a finger and slowly moving it forward. A massive shockwave that cracks the ground beneath them lifts Trunks over his feet and sends him flying around. Sorry about that, Trunks, Goku says while scratching his head with embarrassment. Now that everyone knows about the androids, they need to really get going with their training. Goku here goes into the chamber and starts helping his friends as much as he possibly can. Zalama is around, but he doesn't really want to spend time just training Goku for decades and decades. From what he can see from his friends as well, they won't have what it takes to follow his training regime by just staying in the hyperbolic time chamber for years and years on end. He's hoping he can get them in there for 2 years or so, but beyond that, they should just be doing their training outside the chamber. Since Zalama isn't around, Goku acts as their primary trainer. Even with Goku as their trainer, after these 3 years, they've all gotten way stronger. Tien has claimed the title as the strongest human, with Yamcha and Krillin practically equals now. During this time, Gohan has been training hard and has achieved the Super Saiyan transformation early. Goku though continues on his relentless training regime. He continues to go in the chamber alone and can use his clones to fight someone equal to himself. In this time, he has already acquired Super Saiyan Blue and ventured further to the power of Super Saiyan Blue evolution. However, he finds that this is a complete plateau, therefore he heads to that Yardrat planet to learn what they have to offer him. In a single year, he learns every single one of their techniques. He learns instant transmission and along with that, spirit control. This gives him the techniques of spirit fission and cloning, something that he was already aware of. However, now that he's aware of 2 different approaches to the cloning technique, it means that it only makes him better at doing such technique. He also loves the healing technique that he has learned, since he can keep his friends in the fight if they receive grave injuries. As for his son, he will even receive a Zenkai boost when he is fully healed. During this time, in a dark, dim lab sits an old man. His body looks frail and his eyes continue to shut, but he carries on working to finish this project. The only thing carrying him along through this fatigue is his unfaltering resolution. No, how can he be this strong? Dr. Gero exclaims, banging the table that he's working on. He breaks straight through it, sending his documents flying down to the floor. Oh, I forgot I was an android now, Dr. Gero says. After this, he just stands to view a monitor above him displaying the video information that he's acquired. Goku coming out the chamber and killing King Cold with a telekinetic push, using Super Saiyan God. Dr. Gero is very intelligent and isn't used to not being able to understand what's happening from just thinking about it for some time. No matter how hard he tries to think about this situation, it's not popping into his mind. He doesn't really understand how Goku can be this strong. He also possesses an energy that none of his mechanical systems can pick up on, a level of power that is almost unheard of. And this person that he hears is called Zalama, that he can only sense from his cameras and microphones. None of his energy detectors can sense him. How do I get back at you when you're this strong? Dr. Gero thinks, before turning to the 3 android chambers to his left. Android 16, Android 17, and Android 18. It took so long for him to reach this point. This can't all just be for nothing, right? However, something good might come of this. He's got his DNA and the DNA of Zalama, which he can add to his version of Cell. You might have made this way harder or way easier for me. I'm hoping it's the latter, Dr. Gero says to himself, before letting off an evil smirk. After these 3 calendar years, all of Earth's strongest warriors stand on a rocky hill over the city of Sasebo. Goku is still at the forefront in his typical orange gi, with Gohan stood close by his side. Slightly to his left is Yamcha, who also looks very confident and ready to get to work. Everyone flies into the city, and here Yamcha finds Dr. Gero in 19 first, just as he did in canon. The human turns to watch him directly, tightening his fists. Look at who we have here, Dr. Gero says, readying himself for the upcoming battle. Who are you? Yamcha replies, with a firm face. You don't need to know, but you're Yamcha, one of Earth's finest warriors, Dr. Gero says, slowly strolling forward with a smile. Yamcha makes his own battle stance, and as Dr. Gero gets too close, he begins. Yamcha blasts ahead and shows off a new level of speed he's never shown before. Yamcha drives forward an elbow, and Dr. Gero's head gets sent flying to the side. Yamcha then swerves to arrive behind him where he can shoot a ki blast into his back. A massive explosion is released and sends Dr. Gero flipping and flying ahead. As the smoke clears, Dr. Gero looks quite hurt. Right on the target, Yamcha thinks, before turning his attention to 19. Android 19 looks a little different after seeing this. Even in his memory banks and brain components, he wasn't expecting this power. Yamcha throws out his spirit ball in the next moment, slamming it into Dr. Gero's face, then slamming it into the two androids various times. He manages to knock them around from the kinetic energy of these blasts, and he lifts it up to finally detonate it. The two androids fly back and have surprise on their face. Their clothes are scorched and torn, and ash covers their skin and bodies. Get him, Dr. Gero orders. Come on then, you piece of metal, she shouts, beckoning him in. 19 darts ahead, but Yamcha knees the android in the head before swinging down his fist to punch him to the ground. 19 can swerve back and get back to his feet, but in the next moment he receives a palm strike to his chest component. Yamcha continues firing off with attack after attack. The bangs and shockwaves draw the attention of the other Z fighters that were looking around in the city. What did you feed him? He's a monster out there, Krillin says, laughing with surprise. Yamcha catches a punch from 19, landing a powerful gut punch before pulling him to the ground. Placing his leg on 19's chest, he pulls one of his arms off before crushing the android's head with a deadly elbow. The job is done. Yamcha lifts with utmost confidence and wipes off his hands as he looks back to Dr. Gero. No. Dr. Gero tries to fly off, but all he sees is Goku standing in front of him. Who are you? Goku asks. Dr. Gero doesn't reply, then tries to stun him with his photon wave, but all he hits is an afterimage. Goku appears behind him and continues to interrogate him. It's different when he watches him with his metal beak, behind the security of a camera. Seeing such power with his own eyes, so close to him, is something totally different. I mean, he could kill him at any second, literally. The only reason Gero's still alive right now is because Goku doesn't see the need to get rid of him yet. There's nowhere for him to go. Dr. Gero steps away from Goku and starts breathing more heavily. Once again, he's hit a roadblock. He's gotten too used to reasoning his way out of things. In the face of such power, even his extreme smarts can't get him out of this situation. Why do you want to know? Dr. Gero asks. Goku then teleports to appear in front of him with only inches in between their faces. You've gotten rid of so many people. I don't want to have to get rid of you, but Goku states, grabbing him by the neck. I'm sorry, wait, Dr. Gero says, grabbing his neck as he struggles to breathe. Goku throws him away and Dr. Gero just drops to his knees, grunting from the pain on his neck as he holds it in agony. In the next moment, Goku can see 3 individuals flying over to them at top speed. Dr. Gero then gets a smile over his face. I found a way. I thought that you would kill me so I wouldn't be able to do it, but you let me. I can't believe you let me, Dr. Gero says, with a smile. What do you mean? What did I let you do? Goku asks, a little concerned. Well, I had to activate the real androids, but I knew I wouldn't make it out this area alone. Therefore, I made a system to activate my strongest fighters remotely. It worked like a charm, Dr. Gero reveals. Androids 16, 17 and 18 all land in front of him, standing before Goku. Now get rid of him for me, Gero roars. 17 just laughs. Turning around to face him, he looks at him with disdainful eyes. We don't need to listen to you anymore. You've done your part. Goodbye, 17 says, blasting him to smithereens. Next, he turns and 18 takes a step forward. She takes the initiative in facing Goku. She flies off toward him and swings up for a punch, but Goku moves by literally an inch. He can see the punch is slightly off, so it would have just clipped his chin if it landed, so a small lean back is all he needs. Goku continues in this way, moving slightly to let these punches miss him by millimeters. Those were surprised when watching Yamcha, now they're lost for words. Everyone just has neutral shocked faces now, taken aback. Goku then taps her in the neck. The attack looks like a light tap, but launches her into a building. The entire building comes crashing down and cracks scurry out along the tarmac ground below them. 18 doesn't seem to be coming out anytime soon, and this makes 17 tremble slightly. The probability of us defeating Goku has come out to a probability of 1.41 times 10 to the minus 5. What? Speak English please, 17 shouts back, getting agitated just by this comment. Seeing Goku take out his sister with a single tap, it's hard to convince himself that he stands a chance. We have a 0.001% chance of winning this battle based on my calculations, Android 16 claims. Now that is an extremely low probability. 17 just gulps in reaction. Instead of rushing into fight, 17 is overcome by fear and flies off as fast as he can. 16 follows after as well, and the group are left alone for now. Android 16's head continues to twitch as he is in flight, going through all of the possible outcomes on how they could get to Goku and kill him. After this long analysis, he finds absolutely no method of taking out Goku using their own battle power. The only way is to use his brains to catch him off guard. However, his immortality means that their main mission will be to neutralize him and not to take him out completely. Killing Goku was something that Dr. Gero was originally hoping for, but after he conducted his research, he realized that that would be impossible. The fighters congregate on the street thinking about their next move. It's hard because they can't sense the androids. However, Goku can sense that nothing much is happening, and so they don't think much about it. As long as they don't feel the life force in a certain area decreasing, which will mean that people are getting killed, it should be fine for now. However, there is an issue. Imperfect Cell has appeared from out of nowhere, but Goku immediately goes to see what's happening as he senses his ki. Appearing in front of Cell, he confronts him. "And who are you?" Goku asks. He's seen a lot of unknown strong people today. However, this is a true life form. He can sense Cell and can tell that he is no issue whatsoever. Therefore, he's just going to question him a little bit since he has no clue where he's come from and who he is. "Hello Goku, well I am part you actually. Part your son, part your friends, all of you guys put together to make something better, stronger and above you all." Goku's face remains as still as ever, even in the face of Cell's confidence. Cell just scoffs and zooms toward him, launching a close-up Kamehameha wave. However, Goku lifts up his index finger to launch a miniature Kamehameha wave that packs the same power as Cell's energy wave. The pin-thick blast stops Cells from reaching him, and Goku even starts pushing his much larger energy wave back. Goku fires it straight through his gut, and it isn't like a laser beam. Don't think this really thin Kamehameha wave is like Frieza's death beam, for example. The blast leaves a gaping hole in Cell's stomach. Cell stumbles back weakly but keeps on his feet. From looking at Cell, you can tell there is clearly some power there. Some, but not enough. Cell tried to fire forward again, but Goku just finger flicks him in the head, cracking straight into his head. This knocks him cleanly out for a few seconds, but he does manage to get back up. Cell doesn't even know that he was out cold in that time and even stumbles back to his hands and knees after trying to get back up. That hit did a number on him quite clearly. "Solar Flare," Cell shouts, aiming it straight at Goku. He just shuts his eyes, so the attack has no effect on Goku. The thing is, the Saiyan can't even hold back. He's trained for so long that his defenses are always up. Whenever he hears the word Solar Flare, his immediate reaction is to stop the attack from affecting him. Cell shakily lifts up a hand and launches a destructive disc straight at Goku. The speedy, buzzing golden disc heads toward Goku, who just grabs it with one hand. The disc's buzzing edge continues to spin over his skin but can't actually break through it. He stops the disc with this single grab. After doing so, he starts to squeeze until he fully breaks it. "Get a bit of mine," he shouts, lifting a hand to create a destructive disc of his own. It spins far more quickly than Cell's and releases intense winds as it spins. It's like gale force winds in the street they're stood in, and Goku then fires it down towards Cell. Almost instantly reaches Cell, bisecting him. Just like the aftermath of Canon Vegeta's final flash, Cell is not left in a good state. Instead of growing out from his legs, Cell's legs grow from his head. This is since Cell's head is still intact. When Vegeta used the final flashing cannon on Cell, his head and upper body was completely destroyed. He stands back up and looks like he's hyperventilating. He was not expecting such a strong attack like that. "I don't want to have to hurt you. Stop hurting people here and leave," Goku orders. "Got you, sir," Cell says, before flying off as fast as he can. There's no need to pick that fight. Why would he do that? Just like that, the Cell saga is over, kind of. Next, we have the 7-year time skip. During this time, Gohan doesn't go more with his studies, but instead he trains more and more. As time passes, the gap between Goku, Gohan and everyone else just keeps getting larger. Yamcha tried to keep up with them, but unlike Vegeta, he knows when to call it quits. I mean, a 12-year-old Gohan managed to take him down without even trying his hardest. What can he do to go against that? It's very demoralizing, but he has to accept the truth. I mean, they have transformations that they can use to make them wildly stronger from out of nowhere. Even without those transformations, Yamcha can't even beat Gohan or Goku. Yamcha just accepts gunning for the title of strongest human, which is still difficult with Krillin around. Krillin is more naturally talented than he is, so it takes a lot of effort and time for him to catch up. Additionally, Goku wants to find a way to put extreme stress onto his body. He does this by getting Bulma to create the gravity chamber for him. It's stored in a small capsule that he can just plop down in the chamber, and Bulma creates a chamber capable of going up to 1000 times Earth's gravity. After a long day of school, Gohan is getting ready to race home and begin some training with his father. It's the last day before he enters the time chamber again, so he's going to have to get as much out of him as possible before he's gone. Walking in the nice streets of his school city, he sees someone run past him screaming. Wonder what that's about, Gohan thinks. Right after, he sees a handful more, and then he sees a crowd of hundreds storming past him. People around him end up getting knocked over, but of course since Gohan is so strong, he doesn't get tumbled by this crowd. He just looks around to see if there's anyone he knows, and once he sees there isn't anyone, he gets to work. Lifting up to flight, he flies forward to see what exactly is happening. Upon flying for a short while, he finds Perfect Cell. He stands in a city and has already killed numerous people. Everyone else looks terrified at the sight of him, but Gohan remains ready. How can Father just sense how strong someone is by looking at them? He seems strong, but compared to me, I just don't know, Gohan says, standing before the warrior. Ah, Goku-san, didn't think you'd be the first I'd see, Cell says, with his arms behind his back. What are you? Gohan asks. This is your first time properly fighting a villain, isn't it? Cell says, not even answering his question. You're scared, aren't you? Gohan takes 2 steps back, but keeps his stance strong and firm. Right after, he enters Super Saiyan and flies straight to Cell to try and fight him. Cell catches his first punch, throwing him to the side, but Gohan springs back up to kick him in the side. Now Cell is too slow to block this hit, and he also takes a punch straight to the jaw. After taking these 2 skilled hits, Cell is left furious. Punching him in the face, he nearly knocks the Saiyan to his feet, but as he bends over from the hit, he kicks him in the chest and lifts him off his feet completely. Gohan sent rolling away and grunts in pain from the hit to his chest. Gohan tries to fight him again, but just can't overpower him. You should have stayed down, kid, he shouts, punching his head into the tarmac ground. He then throws a double axe handle, hitting him further into the ground. Lifting to his feet, he slaps away Cell's hand to then kick him in the stomach as hard as he can. Cell slides away from the hit, then Gohan lands a jaw punch to knock him to a knee. Cell now has a look of great surprise on his face. How have the tables turned so quickly in this young boy's favour? Cell waited for years and years to gain the advantage. He played it smart, searched for the androids and found them. He achieved perfection. What is happening? Gohan covers the sun from view with a bright golden aura and intense electricity crackling around him. His eyes are totally cold and lifeless. Gohan punches him once, then punches him again and again. He continues slugging forward his fists into his head, and the punches are too fast for Cell to evade or manage. Cell slumps over onto his back, lifelessly looking up to the sky. Blood is coming out his nose and mouth, and his eyes are bloodshot. How has this happened? Gohan stands over him once again, with blood now dripping from his fists. Get out of here, Gohan shouts at the top of his lungs. Cell rushes out from under him before cocking back his hands and readying himself for a Kamehameha. Let's see how you deal with this, child. Be gone, Cell roars. He vehemently shouts while he fires off his Kamehameha wave toward Gohan. The blast fires over the ground and straight to Gohan, who follows up with his own Kamehameha wave. The 2 energy waves collide harshly, making the windows of the buildings in the street shatter. Gohan slides back slightly upon feeling the force from Cell's blast, but that's all. Gohan is the superior fighter. In the next second, he starts pushing Cell's energy wave back until he's forced to catch it with his hands. Struggling, he starts sliding over the road as he can't keep on his feet. The blast soon breaks past his hands, and Cell is destroyed in the blast, completely. Not even the nucleus in his head survives. Gohan just about manages to heave the blast up before it can cause excessive damage to the surrounding people in the city, and he does succeed. Gohan then starts his training as usual, and Goku leaves to the chamber the following day. As he exits, Goku must expand his training. He's entering that same phase where he's just mastering techniques he already knows. Sat outside the chamber after his first year, he has 5 spinning destructor discs over his fingers. They sound like high-pitched angry bees since they're so small and as a result are spinning extremely fast. Using Shenron, he adds another technique to his arsenal, magic materialization. He can also use the power to create things like heavy objects to try and lift and just aid with his training in general. The World Tournament is here and Goku chooses to just not participate. Instead, Gohan acts as the main participant from the Z Fighters. He's continued his training, which has been spotty at times. He's trying to continue his scholarly life and done a somewhat decent job. However, for all of his free time outside of that life, he's training and doing so very hard. Gohan looks far more athletic and highly trained than the canon version of him that we saw at this same point in time. Gohan stands confidently before Kibito, who asks to see his Super Saiyan form. Gohan nods and obliges. His clothes flow slightly under the breeze and his eyes go from a dark brown to a sea blue colour. His hair begins to flow around as well until it lifts and goes a bright blonde. Super Saiyan 2 Gohan is here. Unlike before, it's not something he finds hard to achieve either. He can maintain the form and look somewhat calm as he's doing it. After completing his transformation though, Yami and Spopovich rush toward Gohan. He looks up as soon as he can sense their ki in the vicinity and leaps back to dodge Spopovich's opening attack. Gohan catches sight of this odd device that he wields before seeing Yamu storming toward him. The Saiyan moves with great speed, managing to evade every single attack that headed his way. Gohan taps his hand away before kicking him in the gut. The kick is firm and leaves Yamu to cough up blood before he collapses. This gives Spopovich enough prompt to lift into flight and fly off as fast as they can. Babidi is going to be furious that he got no energy, but what could he do? There's no way he could have fought that guy. The group watching the tournament, Goku and the other Z fighters follow behind Yamu slowly and from a distance just to see where he's going and what's actually happening here. They arrive at Babidi's spaceship, and this is where they see Dabra shooting spit up to the group. Krillin is hit right on by it. Goku could have stopped it, but why would he? He doesn't know what getting hit by that spit causes. In the next moment, Krillin's body begins to turn to stone and it completely seizes up. What sort of technique is that? Goku says with surprise. As much as he is interested in the technique he's just seen, that's his friend that has been turned to stone like that. He needs to find a way to save him. The only way you get your friend back is if you kill me. In an instant, Goku shoots down a beam-like blast through his chest. A laser-sized Kamehameha that packs so much power it leaves a massive hole through his chest. It's like he's been hit with a rocket supersonic speed that's just smashed through his whole body. That's done and dusted. The Supreme Kais look to Goku, who stood beside him, and can't understand how he packed so much power to do that. How? Anyway, they must move forward because their main mission now is to find and take down Buu. The first fighter, Pui Pui, is handled by Yamcha. Yamcha stands before him and his opponent looks quite confident. You stand no chance. You feel this 10 times gravity? This is natural to me, Pui Pui boasts. I don't even feel it, Yamcha replies. This leaves Pui Pui feeling silent. I've trained in 100 times gravity and above, Yamcha reveals. His arms are crossed and he looks as calm as ever. Pui Pui looks a little scared, then Yamcha takes him off guard and lands a single clean punch that knocks him clean out and defeats him. The next fighter is Yakon, and Goku takes him on just like in canon. All he needs is basic Super Saiyan to take him out. This single transformation gives Babidi all the energy that he needs to activate Majin Buu somehow. It's just that since Goku was way stronger in this timeline, his transformation into basic Super Saiyan just releases way more energy compared to his canon self doing the same thing. The group are transported to the brown ball of energy housing Majin Buu. Buu is activated and Gohan aims an energy wave straight at the ball to try and take it out before anything can happen. However, much to his surprise, the pink gas collects in the sky and condenses into Majin Buu himself. The comical warrior lands and begins acting like his usual goofy self. Just who is this guy? Goku doesn't see a need to fight him, he's going to leave it to Gohan. His son steps forward and powers up into Super Saiyan before he enters the fight. Crossing the distance between them in a flash, he punches Majin Buu in his chest, before grabbing his arm to swing him around and hurl him into the sky. Finally, he shoots forward the Kamehameha wave and hits Buu right on. Several pink blobs fall from the sky, and some are grey after being scorched and turned to ash basically. However, the still healthy blobs come together to form a much larger pink mass that then manifests Buu yet again. If you want to defeat him, get rid of him with everything you have. You must take him out in one fell swoop, Supreme Kai announces. Gohan nods to him with confirmation and now has a face of full focus. Looking to Buu, he pulls back both hands and now adopts a wider stance. A blue ball of ki appears and he fires it straight to the descending Majin Buu, the Super Kamehameha wave. Hitting him head on, it engulfs him and begins shredding apart his body. Just like what happened to Cannon Kid Buu in the Spirit Bomb, he's getting scorched apart and destroyed. The blast continues on into the sky and the fight is over. Majin Buu has been taken down in literal seconds. Supreme Kai is extremely grateful for this group doing this and leave them on their own for now. After this point, Goku manages to give his son God Ki. Super Saiyan God Gohan is here. Now Gohan has become extremely strong. Once he absorbs God Ki, the gap between him, Goku and everyone else has become much larger. Beerus awakes and heads over to Earth to see if there is the Super Saiyan God. Now Beerus is far more pleased upon arrival. Beerus confronts Goku and Gohan as they spar in a vast grassland. Goku and Gohan are currently pushing against each other, wrestling and grappling. Goku manages to sweep one of his feet and drops him to the floor with his fist held inches from his face. Stay vigilant, never get comfortable in a single position, Goku says, before lifting him back up. I know, Gohan says, while he dusts off his clothing. After this, Beerus appears to stand before them. Hello there, Saiyans, Beerus says calmly. The two aren't aware of this guy, but he reveals himself. Beerus, the god of destruction of the universe in which they reside. Beerus has come here looking for the Super Saiyan God, and both of them have the form. Beerus has not been disappointed. Goku signals for Gohan to go first, and he does. The Saiyan steps forward and calmly inhales, before becoming the Super Saiyan God. His aura becomes fiery and chaotic when he starts off the fight. Jumping straight at him, he tries to punch him, but Beerus taps his fist to the side side before rolling away. Gohan then swings in a kick, but Beerus just dips under it, stepping back to let his subsequent attack miss as well. Goku continues watching and a smile grows over his face. Who is this guy and how is he so strong? Gohan throws punch after punch, but Beerus can just wait and tap away each hit without much struggle. They continue to fire away and Gohan feels like he just can't hit him at all. Leaping back, he holds one of his arms up and hurls down his own God Ki Destructo disc. The golden disc fires down toward Beerus, who lifts his hands to block it. Smashing into his forearms, the disc manages to leave a deep graze on his skin before he lets it fly right over his head. What an attack. Beerus looks a little more vigilant, but as the fight continues, he finds that Gohan can't fully take him out. The warriors are now in the sky battling it out. Their single hits part clouds and send the other flying tens of meters away. They continue to fiercely combat each other until the sky around them starts to darken. They're getting high up right now. Gohan leaps back and launches a series of ki blasts, and Beerus manages to knock away all of them. The blasts detonate around them, releasing absolutely massive explosions. It's like fireworks around them, but both aren't concerned. Gohan then dives toward Beerus, throwing a punch that he aims to make Beerus evade. In this moment, he swings out his right leg, landing a clean kick to the god's chin, just as he intended. Using his fist as a decoy to land the attack he intended to in the first place, it causes the god of destruction to spin and leaves a small mark on his cheek, but that is all. It doesn't really give him any sense of injury or pain. Gohan feels like he's really accomplished something with that, but he simply hasn't. As he aims to try and use his wits to get another attack in, Beerus just grabs his shirt and headbutts him. This leaves him stunned, then Beerus knees him in the stomach to knock the wind out of him. Following that, he just hurls him into the air at top speed before chasing after him and really laying Gohan out. The Saiyan can continue fighting, blocking some hits and trying to throw stuff of his own, but it's futile. Soon they're high in the sky, with Beerus looking calm as ever and Gohan panting. This fight has been entertaining but hasn't fully satisfied me. As a result, I will see you to the end of your planet, Beerus says, aiming his hand down toward Earth. Gohan can't let this happen. Rushing to grab his hand, he pulls it away from the planet before practically growling at him. His inner rage, that hidden strength, is all bubbling to the surface. The very thoughts of those he keeps closest to him perishing have appeared in his mind, filling him with utmost rage. All he knows now is that he has to try as hard as he can to kill the man before him. Roaring, his eyes turn to a bright blue and his hair lifts as he enters his Super Saiyan blue form for the first time. Gohan then socks Beerus right in the jaw, leaving him stunned. He'd been suppressing himself so much that this punch takes him off guard. In the next moment, he receives a lower punch to his stomach that sends him back a number of meters. Gohan then loses it. Screaming into the sky, his aura grows even more intense than it already was, and he looks ready to go. Beerus just looks on with a still face of surprise. Who is he fighting? This isn't the power he saw in his dreams. The pristine blue hue, the intense pressure. Now this is what he's talking about. Beerus swings out for a punch, but Gohan seems to phase out the way of his hand, Goku's after image. He then elbows Beerus in the face before dashing forward to hurl down a double axe handle. This lands straight onto Beerus' head and sends him hurtling down to the earth. Now what is different about Gohan is that his power continues to climb. It's linked to his rage and not just his physical power. It seems almost endless. Repeatedly kicking Beerus as he falls, he lands a final double drop kick to speed up his descent. Before he can hit the ground though, Gohan pulls back both hands to then launch a double Kamehameha. The two blasts, one from each hand, fire down and swivel around each other before slamming into Beerus violently. The ground around them erupts in bright lights and explosions, and Gohan continues to fire. The planet doesn't just explode from this energy wave, because Gohan has exceptional ki control and is focusing the power of the energy wave onto Beerus. Gohan lands beside Beerus, who has bruised arms and a bruised torso in general. Lifting back up, he dusts off his body before making his stance. "You're strong, Gohan," he says, before moving with insane speed. Gohan can't even see his movements. In the next moment, he receives such a strong and speedy punch to his chest that he is knocked out cold. Falling slump on the floor, he looks on to the side with lifeless, still eyes. "Don't worry, he'll come back to his senses shortly. I want to see what you can do now, Goku," Beerus says, pointing straight at him. Goku steps forward and nods. "Let's begin," Beerus says. Goku immediately enters Super Saiyan Blue Evolution. He didn't even need to power up. He collapses his aura quite quickly, not letting the immense power leak out from himself. After using the form for so long, he's basically perfected it. Smashing his fist into his chest, Beerus has launched more than 150 meters into a mountain. Goku appears in front of Beerus, using his telekinesis to slam him further into the mountain. Finally, he controls the surrounding rubble with his arms extended. Right after, he pulls his hands together and the rocks condense around the god. They become rock hard around him and look impossible to move. "Oh, I thought he was stronger than this," Goku whispers. He kind of just went through his improvised combination that he thought of when he was fighting Gohan. He looked at how Beerus fought and believed that this would be the most effective combination. However, he wasn't thinking he could do it so smoothly like this. Out of nowhere, Beerus breaks out of the rocks shouting with anger. Many of the rocks around him break down into rubble and he blasts straight through the cloud of floating rocks to knee him in the face. Taking this knee, Goku can only smile. Beerus throws punch after punch onto his torso with such speed it seems that Goku can't block at all. It looks like a ruthless assault, but Goku ends up smiling as he takes every single hit. The power of each strike. It's unlike anything he's felt in decades. His smile begins to look like one of a maniac. "Are you okay?" Beerus asks. He looks bruised up and hasn't really been attacking him back. He's just been taking each hit and giving him weird smiles and things. "I'm great, don't worry about me," Goku replies before making a stance and snapping back into things. Dashing ahead, Beerus looks to elbow him at close range. It looks like he's rushing forward blindly and the god wants to catch him off guard. However, his attack is futile. Goku fades away into a projection of light and appears before Beerus to kick him right in his back. His kick releases a massive shockwave that catches the attention of Whis, who begins to watch more closely. Beerus is sent hurtling forward, but he comes to a stop and turns to shoot out a ki blast at him. All Goku does is swipe it away with a cold face, before splitting off into 10 clones. Now, this isn't like Saiyan's technique. After learning cloning from the Yardratians as well, he can make sure that his clones have the same power that he does. The only drawback is their durability and the stamina drain it causes. It's hard for his ki to fuel the Super Saiyan Blue evolution forms of so many individuals. All 10 of them swarm the God of Destruction, and this is something he's never trained for, getting punched in the gut in one moment and hit in the side of the face in the next. Grabbing one of the clones, he receives 2 simultaneous kicks to his gut before he feels his arms getting grabbed and pulled back. Left vulnerable to a wave of attacks that come next, it looks brutal. He ends up coughing out blood after receiving a punch to his gut, but the attacks just keep coming and coming. A few seconds pass and he is liberated from that assault, but it's left him weak and humiliated. Immortal has just destroyed him like this. He couldn't do a thing. He felt powerless. It was like he was fighting Whis. He just stays flying ahead of Goku, trying to think about what's just happened. Pinching his skin, you can see this battle hasn't just been a figment of his imagination. Goku doesn't understand the silence. He doesn't want to stop this fight anytime soon. Appearing in front of Beerus, he slashes down the god's body with a ki sword. Subsequently, he lands a side kick to his chest. Beerus takes these hits and grits his teeth in pain, holding his body. He looks down to see his hands covered in blood, his own blood. Before Goku can advance toward him, Beerus roars at the top of his lungs, letting all of his rage loose. His eyes look bloodshot with rage as he just can't believe what's happened. This Saiyan has left him looking like a novice. Beerus speeds forward and shows no regard for life. Launching forward his full power Hakai blast, Goku catches it and feels much more power behind it. Beerus smiles upon seeing him stay in such close contact with the blast for so long. However, just when he aims to detonate it, the blast fires off and keeps him away from it and its erasure powers. Annoying, Beerus says to himself as he continues to fire forward. Aiming to punch Goku in the face, the Saiyan catches his punch, then controls his ki into his free fist to land an extremely powerful uppercut that leaves him stunned. The force he feels throughout his whole torso makes him unable to move. It almost makes him feel nauseous. Subsequently, Goku begins throwing an endless combination of punches to his head to try and end the battle. He continues on in a ruthless manner, continuously firing off with punch after punch that Beerus can't handle. Finally, he creates a ki blast that he slams into Beerus' chest, launching him down into the ground. The collision releases a massive amount of rubble in all directions, and once Goku sees no more movement, he sees that the fight is over. It was like he was taken over entirely. He's been training for so long and felt like he didn't need to hold back. He felt Beerus was strong enough, but should have been more vigilant. He went too hard at the end there. Beerus slowly moves out from the rubble, overcome with pain and defeat. He can feel the pain over his whole body and keeps his head tilted downwards. Goku lands ahead of him and looks on with a guilty face. "I'm sorry, Beerus," Goku says, putting out his hand to try and help him up. Beerus just looks up with a furious face, slapping his hand away before lifting. "I don't need your pity, Saiyan," Beerus turns. He feels anger, but then again, Beerus thinks about how intense that battle was. He felt like his life was on the line near the end there. Goku showed no sense of mercy. He continued to battle on with everything he had. Fighting someone like him that was so strong like that, it was exactly what he wanted. "Don't worry, Saiyan. You should be proud of yourself. Your ancestors would be proud of you. You've reached a level I've never seen a mortal reach. You're in the domain of the gods now," Beerus says, before turning and walking away. "The domain of the gods? Are there people stronger than you?" Goku asks. Beerus stops moving, just smirking once he hears this. The god can almost feel his Saiyan blood boiling as he says this. "You're looking at one of them. He's not just my partner, he's my master. He trained me, taught me everything I know," Beerus replies. "He's not even the strongest either." Goku can't ask another question since Beerus and Whis lift up into flight. Farewell Saiyan, Beerus says before they blast up into the sky. What a day for Goku. After the god has left, it leaves Goku feeling quite, well, hollow. It feels like there's a whole world out there that has escaped his reach. Those two must know something that he doesn't. However, he just continues his training method by asking Shenron for how he can get stronger. Explain the main martial arts technique that the gods above the gods of destruction resort to. The main technique, Ultra Instinct, is a form that allows the user's body to move without any conscious deliberate thought. It allows for a much greater speed in battle and unnatural reflexes, making it extremely difficult for the user to be hit, Shenron explains. Now this is a technique that gives Goku goosebumps. How can something so effective exist? It seems unreal. Now he rushes straight into the chamber and focuses his attention on this power. Using God Ki in the gravity chamber, he continuously fires ki blasts around the chamber in a ring to hit into him. Along with that, he uses his clones to try and get him to dodge around the place. It's very hard for him to make progress at first, however it doesn't leave Goku feeling sad and demotivated. No, Goku loves the training itself, as we know. He has fallen in love with the means to the end, not just the end itself. After about 3 whole years in the chamber, Goku lifts his hands to fire a blast. The agony in his shoulders is putting him off, but he doesn't let it get to him. No, he continues on and fires the blast around. Turning, he lets everything go. The pain, the desire, the goal, all he thinks about is nothing. His mind falls blank. He closes his eyes so he receives no sensory input but the buzz of the incoming ki blast. He doesn't let it get to him. Right after, he hears an explosion behind him, not on his own body though. Opening his eyes, they're now a silver colour. Shouting with the voice of a demon, his true power is revealed. Ultra Instinct Omen. His power up is so powerful that he collapses the whole gravity chamber around him. Looking up with fierce silver eyes, he looks down to his new form. Isn't this just a technique? This feels like a new form entirely. His Saiyan body has incorporated the powerful technique in the transformation, and Goku continues his training in the chamber. For another final day, he begins getting far more used to the form, and that's pretty much it. Goku doesn't know that the form is incomplete and doesn't see a need to breach past it just yet, since he can feel his control over the form is incomplete. The offensive capability of the form is unique to Goku and the Saiyan transformation of Ultra Instinct. Goku appears from the chamber a new man entirely. It's only been 4 days, but to him so much time has passed. Those 4 Earth days have been spent completely in the hyperbolic time chamber. As he reveals himself from the hyperbolic time chamber, he feels terribly lost. Zalama is gone right now, and with Beerus gone, there's no one else to give him a good fight. He passes the time with his family, and with training his son and trying to pass on Ultra Instinct to him. Now, it took him 3 whole years to learn the technique, so it's not very easy for him to give it to his son. A few months pass, and Goku is training with his son in the grassland. They're meditating, and Goku is trying to improve Gohan's God Ki sensing abilities. It took him a while to learn how to use this technique, but it's improving slowly and steadily. Ahead of him, both can sense a presence. Beerus, Goku says, without even opening his eyes. Goku, Beerus replies. I've come back for a rematch, Beerus says, with a firm tone. That loss to Goku ignited a sense of passion within Beerus that Whis hasn't seen in an extremely long time. Centuries, really. He couldn't take that loss and just go back to sleep. What sort of person would he be to do something so pathetic like that? No, he's not taking that loss. Goku lifts to his feet and nods toward him. Of course, I'll give you a rematch, Goku says with excitement. Getting another good fight in, he was already getting impatient with just his own clones to fight. Gohan and Whis step away to let these fighters combat each other. Beerus and Goku have a face-off before they step back a few times and make their stances. The fight is on. Beerus begins with a speedy advance, already faster than when Goku had seen him previously. When they fought the first time, he woke up and then went directly to face Goku. Now he's been training for months to get rid of all of that rust and to also grow on top of that. Punching Goku on his forearms, he sends him flying back. Goku is still in his base form, and this isn't going to give him a good foundation to work with. His body is still far too weak to contend with the God of Destruction. Holding out a barrier of pressure with his telekinesis, Beerus feels himself slowing slightly, but flies straight against this pressure and kicks him through a whole mountain. He then fires forward with a bunch of ki blasts, exploding any rock it slams into. This turns the scene into what resembles a fireworks show. Goku flies around these blasts as fast as he can to try and evade them, but is caught by one of the blasts and sent flying down into the ground. What is father doing? He's stronger than this, Gohan thinks, as he sees him crash into the ground. Your father doesn't seem as strong as he was in their previous match. Is he hiding something? Whis asks. I don't know. I don't think so, but he's struggling out there, Gohan replies. Beerus has been training. Maybe he's just to bridge that gap. I didn't know trying to use Ultra Instinct in my base form would be that difficult, Goku says to himself, strugglingly raising back up to his feet. Dusting himself off, Beerus appears to land in front of him, elbowing him in the jaw to drop him onto his back. Don't you dare hold back against me, Goku. This isn't your strongest. Where's that blue hair? Where's your God Ki? Beerus growls. He didn't train for months on end just for this. He came here to face Goku at his best and to defeat him. Goku lifts up and wipes the blood coming from his mouth. Sorry Beerus, I'll show you my strongest, Goku says as his eyes begin to go a pristine silver hue. A few specks of white light lift up around him and flow before a majestic aura manifests around him. Some parts of his hair lift up and he roars, beginning the ultimate transformation. Beerus thinks he'll be seeing that same blue-haired form that he remembers all too well. However, once he feels the pressure coming from him, he can tell this is something totally different. His eyes open wide and he turns back to look at Whis. Whis looks on totally still. Oh, this is the form Dad was trying to show me. What form? Whis asks, with an inquisitive tone, hiding his inner shock. He called it Super. Whis takes a breath of relief upon hearing this. No, Ultra Instinct. Yeah, that's what it was, Gohan says. No way. Goku stands in his UI Omen form smiling at the god. Ultra Instinct. This can't be real. Goku looks at him with a smile, but in the next moment he can see numerous ships flying straight toward them from the skies above. Who's that? Beerus asks, with curiosity. It's someone called Frieza, Goku explains, walking past him. Lifting his hand, all the ships come to a stop. What's happening? Keep advancing, Frieza says to Sorbet. Our systems are at a maximum thrust, sir. We're getting pushed against, Sorbet reveals. The ships continue to thrust out smoke with their exhausts, working at 100% intensity to try and push the ships forward. However, they don't move an inch. Alright then, Goku. Looks like I'll just have to face you alone. All of you turn around, you're not needed, Frieza says, as a hole in the ground appears in his room. Next, he descends from the ship and dives down toward Goku. Landing in front of him, he already has cold eyes. However, he looks weaker and frailer just upon looking at Beerus. You've interrupted our battle, Frieza, Beerus states. Frieza just starts stuttering, he can't even get a word out. Frieza then launches a ki blast straight at Goku, who taps it aside and it explodes beside them. Why has he come to fight you, Goku? Beerus asks. We've butt heads a few times in the past. I guess he's coming back for revenge, Goku explains. Beerus just grunts with annoyance. Walking past Goku, he launches a Hakai blast straight to his chest. As the smoke clears, Frieza is nowhere to be seen. He's been totally and completely erased. Don't worry about him. Let's complete our battle, Beerus shouts. He evades his first punch and begins moving as soon as Beerus starts trying to throw another. This has to be Ultra Instinct. Goku just calmly exhales and lets the punches come his way. In response, he just continues to move around each hit. No matter how fast Beerus throws a hit, Goku doesn't find it hard at all to evade them. For the next incoming attack, a kick, he parries it before knocking Beerus back with a punch. The first hit he has landed this whole fight, and it's a heavy impact to say the least. Beerus stumbles to his hands and knees, but his determination allows him to stay in the fight. Bouncing straight back up to his feet, he doesn't let that cheap shot get to him. But that is not all. Goku launches a Tri-Beam straight at him. As we know, the Tri-Beam is an immensely powerful attack and leaves a painful bruise on Beerus' chest. Beerus grits his teeth from the burning, searing pain, but is left not just defeated, but confused. He'd been training hard for months and months on end. He was being trained by Whis directly. How did Goku manage to learn Ultra Instinct and get this much stronger in the exact same time as him? This guy isn't normal. Can you continue? Goku asks. He doesn't want to make the same mistake that he made in the first bar, but all this does is rile the god of destruction up. Don't pity me, he roars, before storming forward to continue his assault on Goku. Just like before though, there's very little that he can do. His attacks are left futile. Goku's body moves in odd but oddly efficient ways, following a style that Goku isn't even aware of. It's just doing anything it can to evade the incoming attacks, and is doing an incredible job at that. Goku parries yet another hit from Beerus to then land a devastating gut punch. Beerus has will, he has determination, but it just feels like he can't get his body to rise. Falling to his knees, he falls onto his shaking hands and growls under his breath with intense anger. He thought the first fight was humiliating, but this is so much worse. Groping the mud below, he just shouts and leaps up, totally commanded by instinct and rage. As he lifts though, he receives a firm neck tap, and this is all that Goku needs to knock him out. Falling flat onto his stomach, the fight is over in a smooth manner, and Goku has taken the win home with ease. Where are you, Frieza? You told us to leave, I'm waiting for your next command, Sorbet thinks as he looks to the receding blue marble. Whis goes over to lift Beerus onto his shoulder and prepares to leave, but wants to give Goku an offer. You're strong, Goku, you've got potential, how about I train you? I can see your Ultra Instinct is good, but it's imperfect, Whis says. Yes, of course, Goku swiftly replies, barely giving him enough time to reply. Alright, just follow me then, Whis explains. Gohan does want to go as well, but it's not just like he has school. He has a wife, a child, a job. He can't just go running off out of nowhere. He's just going to train here and then train some more with his father when he returns. Therefore, Goku goes solo to Beerus' planet to continue his training regime. During this time, we start to see what makes Goku such a unique fighter, his will for battle. It doesn't seem like any sort of pain stops him, it only fuels him. Beerus really starts to see how Goku got so strong so quickly. He's a true machine. His love for training and the Saiyan DNA giving him no physical limit makes him powerful. It also makes him dangerous. As they train, Beerus just doesn't have the same discipline that Goku does. The gap between them only continues to increase. It's not long before he achieves MUI, only after a few brief sessions with Whis. Now later on, when Beerus meets his brother, their initial fight is much different to how it was in canon. Beerus has been training, and so the gap between him and his brother is much larger. He basically embarrasses him, and they then decide to see whose universe is superior. This is where the Universe 6 saga begins. Beerus decides that Goku is all they'll need, and he is sent as the universe's solo warrior to take on all of Universe 6's greatest warriors. Before this begins, Goku is quite excited. He feels this way whenever he goes on to meet people that are from totally different places to himself. It means that he'll see completely new techniques for him to magpie and add to his own arsenal. First, he is up against Botamo. Botamo is a strong, large fighter that can take his pushes and not move at all. However, Goku just pushes him off the ring using telekinesis. Goku makes his stance against Frost and the fight is on. Goku can see Frieza's features in his face and body and gets angry as soon as he thinks back to what he did. This makes Goku more than willing to fight and he charges right in. Grabbing Frost by his neck, he throws him to the ground and punches him once, and this is all that he needs to knock him out. After this last punch, Goku starts to lose hope. Are these the strongest fighters of their universe? This time for Ultimageta, he just stays at range and takes things lightly to see what they can do. Magma manipulation. It's more based on the magma in his body, so he doesn't really see it as a technique he can use. Using a telekinesis punch, he's thrown right out the ring. Next, he's up against Kaba. Now this could be interesting. Kaba of Universe 6, a Saiyan. Instead of just waiting to fight, Goku just walks toward him with his hands behind his back. Show me what moves you know and come at me with everything you have, he says, before making a stance. Well, okay, Kaba says, before beginning the fight. Now he begins using a style of fighting that Goku is not used to. It's raw, not highly trained, but it's unique. He likes the way he does things, but it's not super interesting. You're good, but you need more training. You could be way stronger with the power you have, Goku says, as he is dodging a number of attacks heading his way. Finally, he grabs Kaba's outreached hand to just throw and eliminate him. Next, he is up against Hit. Goku makes his stance and waits to see what Hit can do. Much to his annoyance, Hit doesn't move at all. Okay then, Goku says, stepping forward with caution. Suddenly, he switches his strategy and dashes ahead with insane speed. As he charges ahead, he can see Hit using his time skip ability. It looked like Hit couldn't track his movements, but all of a sudden he can. He starts moving even faster than him, causing Goku to eat a punch straight to his face. Knocking him back, he shakes off the Hit a little before looking surprised. How are you so fast? Goku asks. Now Hit doesn't have God Ki, so Goku has an accurate picture of how strong he should be. However, his picture was broken down by that sudden move. Goku goes in to attack him again and finds that he is nowhere near as fast as he just was. Kicking him in his jaw, he literally launches him off his feet and sends him flying to the ring's edge. That must be a technique of his, for him to increase his speed by exceptional amounts for a short burst. Now that's a technique he needs to know. Goku waits it out, not attacking at first and letting Hit recuperate. He rushes forward using Super Saiyan 3 to try and see how fast he is. As Hit moves, he can see he is slower than him, even with the use of his time skip. He slips past his powerful punch and grabs Hit's neck to slam him downward before flipping away. I must commend you, that's a neat trick you have there, Goku says, awaiting his rise. He strugglingly gets back up, humiliated and furious. He's the best assassin in this whole universe. There's no one that he can't take down. Now, it's not like he's been given the preparation and time that he's used to, but still. This single man has utterly humiliated everyone else before him. He can't let himself go out in that same way. Hit shouts, surprising those in the Universe 6 stands. Before the tournament began, he barely showed any emotions, but now, out of nowhere, he's become this rage-filled warrior. Hit continuously throws swing after swing, aiming to land a haymaker to show Goku just how strong he is. However, that powerful shot he hopes of landing never connects. Goku can continue to slip around in Super Saiyan 3 with such speed that he can't even touch his hair. Finally, he punches him straight onto his energy shield, making him rub his wrist in pain. Finally, Goku lifts him up and off his feet, hurling him off the ring with a telekinetic push. The whole universe has been defeated at the hands of a single fighter, Goku of Universe 7. In the future timeline, Future Trunks holds his sword shakily up against a being resembling Goku but with dark gi, Goku Black. Stay back, he barks. Fear has overcome his body, he can feel the power in his legs fading. Trunks continues to pull back, but Goku Black is far too strong. His mission cannot be to fight any longer, but instead to escape this man. Flying away at top speed, he just about manages to escape to find himself in the present timeline. Goku isn't here as he arrives, but Trunks is met by Gohan, his trainer. He thought that future Gohan was insanely strong, but as he takes a closer look at this timeline's version of him, he looks totally different. He doesn't have any scars, but has a similarly muscular physique to future Gohan. Future Trunks is gravely injured though, and Goku arrives at the planet very quickly to see what is happening. Now, with Goku's Yardratian powers, they don't need to wait to heal him. Placing his hands over his body, a wave of green energy flows into his body and begins to heal him from his wounds. As Trunks receives enough strength to return to consciousness, he looks at Goku and aims to attack him, but can see that he is being healed by him. Oh, he's in the past now. Taking a sigh of relief, he can feel that his body is now totally fine. What's happened? Goku asks. Trunks then reveals what's been going on in his own timeline. Somebody has taken Goku's body and is wreaking havoc in his universe. A man that dreams to eliminate all mortals with the power that he's acquired. He makes sure to confirm that the man isn't Goku. I mean, Goku knows this since he's literally never even thought of doing that, or anyone doing that for that matter. Goku says that he wants to go to the timeline to get rid of him. Of course, this means that he'll get to face another strong warrior. If he has his body, surely this means this will be the most intense battle he's ever been in. Unlike his clones, this guy won't just poof out of existence if he hits him hard enough. Arriving in the future, he already senses Goku Black's ki. Teleporting away, he appears in front of him. It's weird for him to see, well, himself, just in different gear. Greetings, Goku. I'm grateful for you gifting me this body to complete my mission, Goku Black says, regally raising his arms to his sides. Goku doesn't reply. You can feel the ki from him isn't like his own, it's slightly different, darker, more evil. Enough talk, let's fight, Goku says, making his stance. Goku Black flies right at him and begins. Goku Black's become very confident fighting people like future Trunks, but when facing someone much stronger like Goku, the fight will be much more difficult for him. Throwing out a punch, Goku slips past it and punches him straight in the jaw. Goku believed he was around his strength and is very surprised to see him fly back through a whole building. He fires down a few ki blasts and lights up the whole thing. This leaves Goku Black bruised and bloodied, holding his side in agony. This is odd, Goku thinks. Now, with some thought, he concludes. He must not know how to use my body. It makes sense, Goku realizes, before diving down. Goku Black just cannot do a thing to keep Goku contained. The gap between their power is far too large. Not only that, but Goku can see that he is very technically inept. He has raw strength, but that's pretty much it. Their difference in technical ability is even larger. Using telekinesis, Goku can keep all his attacks from hitting him and can even use it as an offensive technique. Out of nowhere, a series of punches using telekinesis hit Goku Black in various places. The attack being invisible means that there's no way for him to block or evade them. A massive strike lands on his gut and makes him cough out a large volume of blood. Dropping to his knees, he's struggling to breathe now. Goku Black grips the floor and growls in pain before looking up with bloodshot eyes. Do you know what I had to do to get this body? Goku Black asks. I don't care, Goku replies. To be honest, Goku just wants to fight. He doesn't want to sit through the yap of this god. I didn't just have to kill you, Goku. I killed those around you, your son, your wife, he shouts, before smiling maniacally. There's no need to face me, just know that they're already gone. Now, this is the greatest mistake Goku Black could have made. Psychological warfare is futile in the face of such overwhelming strength. Goku Black cackles before being grabbed by the neck. His smile fades just as quickly as Goku's movement. The squeezing force leaves his head to go a beat red and he can't let a single breath of air in. Goku slams him into a building wall behind them, causing a whole building to collapse. Next, he just throws him out into the street. He wanted to have a good fun fight, but now he doesn't want that. He just needs to get rid of him. Using his materialization powers, he creates several daggers that he hurls straight through his body. They continue to stab into and pass through Goku Black's body, causing him great pain on each stabbing. He ends up falling to his knees from feeling so weak, then Goku begins pulling in the rubble from around them to just hurl them one after the other to the foe Saiyan. In such a weak state, all you can do is remain there and take hit after hit hopelessly. After this massive wave of blasts is finished, Goku begins to slowly walk toward him. Resting on his stomach, all he can do is pull himself away with the little strength that he has left. His arms are shaking and covered in his own blood. No matter how hard he tries to pull, he can't get away from Goku. His fate is inevitable. No, not at the hands of a mortal. He had to lower himself down to take the body of a mortal, and now is being taken down by one. You think you're perfect, so what is this then? Answer me, Goku shouts, grabbing him by his hair and pulling him to throw him into an adjacent building. Before he can pull himself off it, Goku throws a keyring to keep him locked onto the rock wall. Fine then, if you don't want to answer me, Goku says before holding his hand to his head. A blue ball of ki appears and soon expands to form Goku's full power Kamehameha. Now this blast isn't like the normal energy wave we've come to know and love. The blast almost fires out parallel to Goku's hand in all directions. It's the size of a spirit bomb and just raises the whole area to the ground. The flames in the area have intensified, but one thing is known for sure, Goku Black is gone for good. Good riddance, Goku says before turning to walk off. Goku has freed this world just like that. The future timeline is free of Goku Black. Goku begins walking along the street away from the scene. In the sky though, someone is watching, Zamasu. His eyes show shock as he wasn't expecting this sort of outcome. His accomplice has been taken out just like that. Now, without that powerful asset, it's going to be very difficult for him to get what he wants. However, he's forgotten that he's immortal. Goku begins to walk off, but Zamasu appears in front of him to try and attack him, rushing in and trying to stab him with his hand infused with ki. It just grazes off his skin and doesn't even break through it. How? So he really is extremely strong. That's when Goku realizes. Holding him in place using his telekinesis, he lifts him up before firing off 2 consecutive golden destructor discs. Both pierce right through his body, leaving him in 3 different sections. As these sections of Zamasu fall, they just mend together in seconds. This reminds him of Boo, but things look a little different. His body isn't made of some mysterious pink mass. He saw blood and flesh, but he's still just mended back together. Goku continues trying to beat him down with various approaches. One thing to immediately note is that anything Goku tries just ends up leaving Zamasu gravely injured. Their gap in strength is extremely large, but Goku still must think outside the box. This is because even with the damage he causes, Zamasu always finds his way back. Goku just ends up looking at him with crossed arms. He contemplates different approaches, but has already tried so much. How does he get rid of this guy? Now, Goku doesn't even want to carry on. It's not like he's getting a good fight out of this anyway. Instead, he turns away and reveals a button. Zamasu has no clue what that is, but soon becomes terrified once he sees who he reveals. Zeno. He's the last option they have in freeing this universe of Zamasu entirely. Zamasu is gone with the universe and the Goku Black arc comes to an end. Future Trunks is now able to enjoy some form of peace in his own timeline now that Zamasu and Goku Black are gone. After this point, Goku returns to his training with Beerus and Whis. He's had enough of Ultra Instinct, now he wants to learn what Beerus has. This is confusing to Beerus though. Wouldn't he want to stay down the same path so that he could master that form? However, Goku has MUI and years of experience with the technique. He's lived for a very long time for a mortal and has spent a significant amount of time training. It's incredibly easy for him to learn techniques, develop them, then master them. I'm not bothered teaching you like Whis does. It looks like you can do a lot by yourself, so let's get this started, Beerus says. Partially, he doesn't want to orchestrate Goku's growth. Secretly, he's still salty that Goku humiliated him twice in a row, but he's starting to come to terms with it. One can only be in denial for so long, especially when the truth is thrown in his face. Goku picks it up very quickly, even though the mentality of the form is different to his own. He most likely won't be using it to the same extent that Beerus does, it's just not very compatible with him, but he can use the Hakai power if he wishes to. I mean, canon Goku in the manga was already seen using this power to some extent, so I'm sure this version of Goku could use it to a far higher level. Goku and Whis stand against each other. One of their intense spars is about to begin. Goku has mainly been learning to fight through learning techniques and practicing his Ultra Instinct, but Whis has agreed to give him a near full-on spar. They circle each other for a short time. Goku thinks of several approaches he can with a smile on his face. The uncertainty that his attacks will work makes this so much more exciting for him. The ability to face someone above himself, far above himself. It's a privilege and rarity for him to get a fight like this. Goku rushes forward, jamming forward his fist. He's still in his base form, so this attack is terribly useless. Whis can grab it and maneuver around so that Goku is left to crash into the ground. Whis did this with a single hand and Goku just laughs upon seeing this. After so much training with him, he thought that he'd found weak points that the angel had. Now you can tell those weren't real. Goku creates 5 clones that run toward Whis from all directions. Using the power in numbers is his best shot. These angels haven't been as highly trained in the art of facing mobs and groups. It's not as common, and so this is Goku's main chance. All of the clones begin using UI Omen, not their full power but a form easy to access. Whis begins surveying his surroundings with careful, vigilant eyes. His eyes never look at a place for too long. He scans, then turns, scans, then turns. A clone attempts to strike his back, but he turns and swats their attack away using his staff. Next, he swings up his staff to send one of the clones flying into the sky. Another tries to land a front kick, but he swivels to his right and jabs down the staff to slam the clone's foot onto the ground. Using this planted staff, he lifts and holds his body horizontally, kicking away the remaining clones before swatting the final one out of existence. Now, Goku was not expecting that. He just laughs again. It's fascinating to be in the face of such overwhelming strength and ability. Goku leaps forward and begins lifting rocks and hurling them around Whis. The winds around them soon resemble a tornado and even darkens the clouds above them. Goku's telekinesis powers are so strong that he can affect the weather around them. Whis remains calm and focused, scanning the whirlpool of air around him. It's not like any ordinary tornado. Whis can see through it though. This means that he can track Goku as he goes through it. Oh wow, he's making Whis a little invested in this. Surprising, Beerus thinks, as he watches the battle. Goku continues trying to battle Whis in UI Omen, but the gap is too large. He's just not strong enough in this form. Throwing 2 haymakers, Whis just taps away both strikes before kneeing him in his chest, which nearly knocks him out. He stumbles to a knee and is surprised of how much of an effect that hit had on his body. He does lift back up though, scratching his chest in pain. Next, he calms himself, lets his mind fall quiet. Opening his eyes, he manifests his mastered Ultra Instinct form, his pinnacle of strength. Blasting off toward Whis with a still face, he aims to punch him. However, at the very last second, he aims to kick him in his side. He sees a smirk on the angel. Neat trick, Whis says, before turning. He aims to lift his staff to block the attack and is more than fast enough to do so. However, before his staff can reach Goku's fist, he vanishes. Out of nowhere, 20 clones all appear from around him, all aiming their fists in his direction. Whis starts analysing if he can block each one. All of the fists are too close together though. Based on their trajectories from what he can see, they'll all land at the same time. Therefore, Whis extends both arms and throws all the clones away. Finally, he rushes Goku and sweeps him into the air by striking at his ankles with his staff. Jumping up, he stabs the butt of his staff into his sternum to send him crashing into the ground. This leaves 10-meter long cracks to scurry out from the point of impact, and Goku grunts in agony from this hit. He felt his sternum break from the strike and is just lucky his healing factor is getting to work to heal the wound. I must commend you, Saiyan. That was not something I was expecting near the end there, Whis says. How did you even do that? Just created clones behind you that made them suppress their ki and hide a few kilometers away around the planet. Once I needed them, I just talked to them using telepathy and made them all attack you at once. That is some god battle intelligence to say the least. Now what follows this spar is the Tournament of Power. Goku is extremely excited to get this going, but his enthusiasm does fall a little bit after he has his introductory fight against Toppo. Beerus can't even be bothered watching, he knows that this other guy has no chance. Toppo might be one of the strongest in his universe, a god of destruction in training, but all of that doesn't matter. If he isn't stronger than Belmont, there's no world where he beats Goku. Toppo is arrogant though, and why would he not be? He's the heir to the throne of his universe, and is strong in his own right. Sprinting across the gridded arena, he swings out a test punch to see Goku swerve out the way of it. Next, he drives up an uppercut, but Goku steps back just enough so that he is millimeters from hitting him in the head. Goku continues stepping around his attacks and sees Toppo overcommit with one of his punches, leaning forward. A quick sweep to his inner leg is all he needs to leave him flat on his back. Of course, this doesn't hurt Toppo at all, but works to humiliate him. After he'd been trying his hardest to land a hit on him, this is all Goku had to do to leave him on the ground. It riles him up and he rises, now using his aura of a god form, God Ki. Blasting ahead, he carries a much higher momentum and more intimidating presence, but this means nothing to Goku. He still watches his punch fly past his face and he then grabs it. Flipping it around, he swings Toppo all the way around so that he lands back on his feet. Those in the stands must hold back their laughs upon seeing this. "You think you're funny, do you?" Toppo asks, now furious. Goku just shrugs, lifting his hands. Now this gets Beerus' attention. This is a little entertaining. Toppo just lifts his hand and creates a Hakai blast. He doesn't care anymore, this guy is going to pay for fighting like this, treating him like he's some joke. Firing the dark purple blast, Goku fires the exact same one toward it. The two clash in the midpoint and release a large amount of energy that Goku places an energy shield around to contain. It creates this massively bright area of light that soon dies down. Don't want that destroying everything around here. Don't you think that Hakai's a little overkill? Goku asks. Toppo grunts and charges ahead again, but gets hit by a phantom punch to his stomach. He remains still for a moment, shaking until he feels himself getting nauseous. Coughing out blood, he passes out and needs immediate medical attention. Who is this Saiyan? Champa knows him all too well and knows that there's going to be a serious problem. With the stakes of the tournament so high, it makes him stress out to the maximum. Universe 7 then needs to choose their team for the tournament, and many people are excited. One person that is quite excited is Yamcha. During this time, he's been mainly training with Tien and Gohan. He's been teaching him martial arts techniques he's learned from Goku. Also, Goku found that the humans are great at manipulating ki. Where the Saiyans have been gifted raw power, the humans have technical ability and smarts. So, Yamcha, Tien, Krillin, Goku and Gohan are givens. Master Roshi is also added to the mix, and to be honest, Beerus thinks that'll be enough. Beerus isn't even thinking about how they'll win the tournament, it's like it's already happened in his mind. He's just constantly thinking about the dynamics of being the only universe around. He could throw just Goku into the tournament and he's sure that him alone could win the whole thing. However, the rules of the tournament mean that they have to, therefore they go for Goten and Trunks. Subsequently they revive Frieza and he's going to be used as the member in the tournament. This brings their total to 8 members, then they ask for Cell to be revived. Now these two most recent additions are evil and don't want to listen to these people, but Goku is extremely strong and tells them that if they don't win this tournament, their whole universe, including themselves, will be erased. As for their final addition, they go for Android 16. This time they don't need a wish, but Bulma just works overtime to reprogram his mind so that he's more amiable and willing to aid in the cause. The 10-man team is quite different to the one that we'd seen before, but it's still more than enough. The tournament begins, and Android 16 and Cell end up working as a duo. They know each other's abilities incredibly well and already knew each other from Dr. Giro's works. Frost faces these two fighters, and Android 16 can quickly tell that he is outmatched. He rushes Frost, who is currently in his final form, but ends up getting one shot and shot to the ring's edge. Weakling, I wish I could absorb you, Cell says back to him before dashing ahead. Now enhanced with Zalama and Goku's DNA, he's a much stronger threat. He lands a smashing punch onto his face before grabbing one of his arms to pull him overhead. He continues to swing him from one side to the next, and once he sees he's too weak to face him, he throws him out the ring entirely. Cell smiles as he gets his first elimination before rushing away to engage with other fighters. I've been taking training way too lightly recently. I can feel I'm not as good as I used to be, Gohan says, taking off his glasses. Dispo of the Pride Troopers takes him on, but he prepares himself and rushes in for battle. As he tries to fight with his base, you can see why Dispo claims to be the fastest warrior of his universe. He zips around him with immense speed and doesn't seem to be slowing down either. A massive amount of wind flows out from the movement, and Gohan receives a straight kick to his abdomen that drops him to his knees. He then lands a speedy snapping hook to his face that he can't even see coming. His glasses go flying off and you can see the world swaying around even though he's completely still. Okay, you're better than I expected, Gohan realizes. His father made everyone else look so weak, but that just proves how strong he has become. Gohan might be strong, but he can see the gap between him and his father has gotten even larger. Closing his eyes and calming himself, his body floods with God Ki. Now in Super Saiyan God, he speeds across the tournament ring and leaves Dispo frozen. After flaunting his speed and acting so arrogantly, his mind is still trying to process what has just been seen. He's just been outran. Gohan swings straight for his thighs and drops him to the ground before dashing away. Dispo can speedily get back up to his feet and can see Gohan approaching him again. Going in to attack him again, Gohan steps around him to grab the back of his shirt to throw him down again. Now Gohan continues with these useless demoralizing attacks and just makes Dispo angrier with each grab. Dispo begins visibly shaking and powers up to his feet with his eyes opened wide. If you want to fight me for real. What is this? Dispo shouts, looking around to try and track him. Gohan appears in front of him, then just stands there. Dispo waits as he expects an attack, but suddenly rushes ahead to try and hit him first. Laughing as he charges, his punch flies straight through his whole body. An after image. You want me to fight for real? Okay then, Gohan says. Dispo turns and takes a massive elbow to his jaw, followed by a kick right to his sternum. Before Dispo can steady himself, he takes a relentless combination of attacks where each one pushes him closer and closer to the ring's edge. All the fastest in his universe can do is look on with still frozen eyes. The previous anger, the fury, it's all gone. Gohan rushes ahead and shoves him off the ring and eliminates him, moving on to his next target. In this moment, he sees Cell. They look at each other and Cell exudes a sense of anger and coldness. Gohan doesn't have that same malice, but it's not like they're friends or anything. Let's just put what happened in the past behind us, Gohan says. Not like I have much choice in the matter anyway, Cell replies, before Toppo lands ahead of them. Gohan makes his stance, then Cell does the same. Let me take him on myself, Cell shouts, before charging forward. Revealing Krillin's destructive disc, he hurls it toward Toppo, but he ducks under it with ease. Next, he sprints toward the bio-android and lands a crushing uppercut to his torso. Cell ends up coughing up blood and stumbles back. Toppo just throws Cell's extended hand to the side to land a massive haymaker to the head. Now Gohan can't just stay back and watch this. As much as he hates Cell for what he did in that city, the fear and suffering he caused, he has a pure heart. He can't just see him get hurt like this. You are weak, is all Toppo utters, before throwing down his foot for a stomp. Before he can reach Cell, Gohan kicks his leg away before blowing him back using telekinesis. Oh wow, I wasn't thinking that would work, Gohan thinks. Toppo looks angry as he's done this and wants to rush back in to hit the blue-head Saiyan, but he is beat to it. Gohan charges ahead and then disappears at the very last second to strike him right in his back. Next, he grabs one of his gargantuan arms to swing him around 360 degrees and hurl him to the ground. Now Toppo is getting really angry. After Goku humiliated him before, it feels like the same thing is just playing out right now. Furious, he rushes forward and aims to grab Gohan, but he slips past his extending arms and kicks him right in his solar plexus. He then snaps at his knee to drop him onto it. Grabbing him by the neck of his shirt, he just throws him straight out and throws him off the ring. It looked like you really did need my help, Cell, Gohan says, walking over to lift him up. Cell just grunts, but then they both turn. Toppo holds onto the ring's edge just by a finger. The ring starts cracking under the concentrated force, but this is all he needs to get up and rejoin the tournament. Let me handle this, Cell says, walking past Gohan. Toppo even stumbles to a knee. He's been left weak and heavily injured. He can see Cell walking toward him, but just waits. He can't really do anything. He still needs time to readjust and recuperate. Cell reveals his tail and totally submerges Toppo. Cell contains the power and can feel himself getting larger, stronger. Now, the tournament had put up rules for fusion between people of the same universe, but they weren't expecting something like this to happen, an absorption. A method of fusion but between members from different universes. After the absorption, Cell looks very much like how he was before, except he's just become larger and more muscular. Would you believe this? Cell says, cackling. Did you have to absorb him? You've just ended his life. Gohan berates him, furious. Stop with that kindness. This is universe against universe, life or death. Now it's not like they have many options. Their entire universe has gone through and swept many of their enemies. Golden Frieza is already much stronger than a lot of the fighters in the tournament, and Universe 7 have many fighters way stronger than even Golden Frieza. Cell ends up facing Cabba and the other Universe 6 Saiyans, Caulifla and Kale. He grabs Cabba by his arm and ends up breaking it with just a squeeze. Screaming in pain, Cabba tries to free himself but cannot. Cell headbutts him and knocks him straight out before kicking him off the ring with a final hit that knocks him out. Next, he launches a ki blast out that throws Kale and Caulifla out the ring while leaving them in a bad state. Cell just looks down to his body again and laughs upward. The power flowing through his veins is exhilarating. There's nothing else like it, to be honest. Now, the only real strong fighter left that isn't in Universe 7 is Jiren. Goku has been sensing their ki and went straight to him after taking down a few minor foes. Goku can tell from his silence that he is powerful, the silent confidence. Goku begins the fight and charges forward in his base form. A single hit, a punch to the jaw, knocks Jiren to the ground head first. Goku just looks away with disappointment. He was hoping for more than what he's received. Jiren just ends up placing his hands on the ground and has a face of pure shock and surprise now. He saw him rushing forward and he didn't seem that fast. How did his punch hurt that much then? No, Jiren denies the pain he feels, it can't be real. Lifting to his feet, he throws that neutral position behind him and just goes on the offensive. This is when Goku gets to see Jiren's full power. He's the strongest person out their universe here. His attacks are fluid but also powerful. Even if Goku can evade each one, he can still feel the power behind them. It's actually working, Goku calls out of nowhere. Jiren has no clue what he's saying but just carries on trying to attack him. Whatever he's saying is not his business then. However, Goku is saying this since he's managed to incorporate Ultra Instinct into his base form, and the gods watching soon start to catch on. Now, Goku isn't moving very quickly. This isn't what lets the gods know he's using it. He's moving at Jiren's pace, so the gods know he is far slower than any angel and some of the gods of destruction. However, as soon as Jiren starts to move, so does Goku. Even before he has the chance to react, there's no delay at all. Ultra Instinct, Champa grumbles under his breath. All the members of his universe are gone but one, Hit, and all he can do is watch hopelessly. He's already seen what happened to Hit after he fought Goku, and you can see that he's way stronger than in the Tournament of Destroyers. Jiren can't stop because he struggles to accept what's happening. His mind keeps telling himself that he'll connect at some point, that he's the strongest, but the demons in his mind gain power after every hit. Has he disappointed his master? No, of course not. But what is this then? Jiren roars, but Goku just stops his next fist using telekinesis. Jiren continues trying to push forward, but feels this invisible wall whenever he gets close to Goku. Many of those around have stopped to watch their fight. His shockwaves released from Jiren's attacks have caught all of their attention. Jiren steps back, then begins revealing all of his hidden strength. The fruits of his hard work, his consistency, is right here. However, he still just looks weak in comparison to Goku. Before Jiren can land a single attack, Goku hauls him out the ring using a wave of Ki and ends things right there and then. Universe 7 have taken the win, just like that. They wish for the other universes to come back, and that brings this arc to a swift end. What follows is the Broly movie. Now Goku is back on Earth and is training with his son Gohan. They clash continuously over the water, and Gohan is continuing to learn from the new divine martial arts that Goku has taught him. You've still been training, that's great, Goku says, before diving under Gohan's incoming punch. Using his Ki, he hurls him into the air and makes him lose his control and coordination. He's spinning around so fast that he can't even see what's happening. Before he can stop though, Goku just grabs him and stops him. Landing back on the Kame House Island, Gohan drops to his hands and knees from feeling so dizzy. I can see you've gotten stronger as well, Gohan says, panting. Next, Frieza arrives back with his life and has located Broly to act as a warrior to face Goku in his stead. Embarrassing. They arrive at a snowy biome of Earth, and Gohan is the first to take the Saiyan on. Now, without Vegeta here to aggravate Broly and Paragus, the former attacks not on his father's command but Frieza's. This means Broly isn't as aggressive at the beginning of the fight. Broly speeds over the ice, throwing up a cloud of water vapor from his massive impetus. Gohan takes a straight punch from him before charging up in flight. Swinging out a few ki blasts, they throw up masses of ice and snow upon impacting the ground, and a small few of them hit Broly directly. Now the ki blasts are powerful powerful and hurt him, but serve more to anger him instead of injure him. Broly flies up straight to Gohan and hits him straight in his chest. Being forced upward, he still slows and stops himself, before landing a swinging kick that shoots him to the side. Now at the start of things, Gohan has the advantage. He's stronger than Canon Vegeta at this point, so he can carry on in his base for longer, but as he continues, he can feel something's off. As he continues to fight, you can feel he's growing stronger and stronger. The way that they continue to fight, the gap is closing. Gohan is punched into an ice mountain and punched straight through it, getting sent through the ice. He can feel this dull aching pain in his arms. After this, he ascends into Super Saiyan. Broly continues with his anger and confidence after eventually reaching his level though. However, he blocks his hit without even moving an inch. Broly just feels all the force of his strike through his hand. As his mind is being taken off the fight from this pain, Gohan reaches forward and headbutts him. He takes off his glasses, throwing them down before uppercutting Broly further up and continuing the battle. He zooms through the clouds, parting them from his insane speed. Broly can do nothing to face him, the gap between them is too large. However, he closes that gap as well. He forces him up into Super Saiyan God and can also see that Broly is closing that gap. Now Goku is completely fascinated. This is an ability he hasn't seen to such a high degree. It reminds him of his son, where he just grows and grows as he fights. Broly, now in his Ikari form, grabs Gohan by the neck and slams him down repeatedly. This brazen warrior continues to attack until out of nowhere Goku appears and throws him away. How did he get so strong? Gohan asks, holding his neck in pain. Goku heals him as he is down while still looking at Broly. I don't know, but I want to see how far this goes, he says, with a smile on his face. Lifting into flight, he zooms over his son and continues the battle himself. Goku continues in his base form, but finds that Broly has already become a problem. His base form won't be sufficient. He powers up into Super Saiyan 3, getting more and more excited as he carries on. He can feel that Broly is getting stronger and even reaches his own level. This makes Frieza very surprised, but he is also disappointed. He knows Goku has so much power beyond this, so he's no use. He's going to need to find some power for Broly, and fast. He was growing quickly at the beginning, but the rate at which he's growing now is getting too slow. I mean, for him to reach Goku's level will take an abnormally high amount of time. From Goku's perspective, there is potential there, but he won't get a good fight from him right now. Broly roars and swings down his arms like an ape, but Goku lands a quick tap to his chest that knocks him clean out. As he falls, he turns and can see a laser beam shooting out from Frieza's finger. His speed and perception is so great, it's like he can see it slowly rushing out from his finger. Using instant transmission, he grabs Paragus and teleports him to the side so the laser beam goes flying past into a nearby ice mountain. Goku then blasts him in the chest, leaving him knocked out. Sorry about this, you guys shouldn't be following him. He just wanted to use your son for power. You can stay here if you like, since you'll need to keep watch over your son, Goku states. He's way too strong to just let loose, and Paragus doesn't really have an option. There's no planet for him to go back to. Everyone he knew and loved except for his son is gone. Therefore, he obliges and Frieza is shooed off the planet for now. Now back on Earth, Cell is basically left to roam. Gohan makes sure that he'll get rid of him if he acts up, and Cell chooses not to do much then. After this, he is soon afflicted with a sense of extreme boredom that he's never felt before. Before, he had a purpose, to kill Goku and to use his power to cause suffering to extreme levels. It made him feel happy, kept him driven. Now he doesn't really have much. Grabbing a rock and just hurling it into the water ahead of him, it creates tsunami-like waves. He just flies up to watch the waves rush under him. As he watches the water fall and calm, he feels the presence of someone behind him. Turning, he launches a ki blast in their direction, but they jump over it with haste and shoot out a weird laser from a gun. Cell is hit right in his chest and stumbles around for a short while and can feel everything getting blurry and slower. What have you done, is all that he can mutter before he passes out. I hope that you can be of use, Moro says, lifting the mammoth fighter onto his shoulder with ease. Gohan is walking toward his home after a long day of work and looks to his door while readjusting his glasses. Still have training after this as well. I'm already so tired, Gohan complains, before he then senses someone approaching. Not only that, but he realizes that he's sensing this person through God Ki. He knows the God Ki of Beerus, Whis and Goku. This is not that same ki, but it feels the most like Whis. Still, it's different enough for him to know that it's someone else. Beerus lands ahead of him and he can see that Gohan is on edge. Don't worry, I don't intend to cause any harm. I actually need your help, Moro says. It's been a while since Gohan has been on a mission. This guy's lucky he hasn't got work for a few days. What do you need help with? Shortly after, Gohan heads with Beerus to Namek and is surprised to find Cell in the ship with him. He took you as well, Gohan realizes, looking up the ship as it rushes through the air. Yes, he did. Looks like he took you as well, Cell replies, with a lot more anger in his voice. They arrive on Namek shortly after, and Cell rushes out to see where he is. Why has he brought us here? Cell asks. So you don't know? Gohan asks in reaction. Don't answer my question with a question. Of course I don't know. Well, there's an enemy here. I can sense he's in that direction. Cell hears this and flies over there at top speed without hearing another word. Moro stands up on a hill, ready to conduct his operations, but gets punched off the hill and sent into the ground. Cell then launches a barrage of ki blasts down toward Moro before he can react. He continuously gets hit by these blasts and hit down after he tries to raise back up. Cell doesn't even know why he's fighting right now. After just sitting around for so long, he's just happy he's doing something. Moro shoots up beams of lava toward him, but Cell hurls over his beams and drives his knee into his head. The beatdown is brutal, and you would think that Cell is some righteous hero the way he's holding nothing back. Moro is soon covered in his own blood, completely battered. His old frail frame hasn't been holding up against Cell's raw strength, and he soon starts running out of options. However, he still has some magic. Lifting his hand, he starts trying to suck Cell's energy. Cell isn't going to let that happen. Rushing forward, he grabs one of the magician's arms and snaps it with just a squeeze. He begins to scream out in pain, and Cell looks down with piercing eyes of rage. "How dare you steal my energy? Let me use your power for my gain," Cell calls out, shouting at him. He opens his tail, but from nowhere, he feels someone holding his tail back. "I won't allow you to do that," Mero states. "Why?" Cell calls out, but both are then hit directly by tranquilizers. With Moro weakened to such a level, Mero can use his trapping substance to wrap him back up and trap him. After this, he can take him and the job is completed early. Gohan goes over to Cell as he's just slumped over on the floor ahead of him and scratches his head. What am I supposed to do here? A few seconds later, Cell awakes, rips the sleeping dart from his leg before flying up into the air and escaping at the last second. Well, that was pretty quick. Following this, Gohan just heads back to Earth where he can continue on his day as usual. It's weird how he just went across the galaxy and is just right back home in such a short time. Meros offered his ship to bring Gohan back home, so he had a very smooth journey back to Earth. So Moro is put right back in jail, and that brings a very swift end to the Moro arc. After this point, Granola goes on to try and wish to be the strongest in the universe. He's ready to get revenge against the Saiyans for what they did to his race. However, as he goes to Toronto to try and complete that wish, he is told that that wish cannot be completed. It's not that the wish itself is impossible, it's just that Toronto doesn't have the power to make Granola stronger than the strongest person in Universe 7. It's not Black Frieza, of course we know who it is, Goku. Since Granola can't complete the wish to become the strongest, the arc kind of ends before it begins. With that, Goku incessantly continues his hard work and training, cementing himself further as the strongest mortal in his universe. So that will conclude What If Goku was obsessed with training. Please tell me something you liked about the What If, or something that I should improve on for the next one. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.